live from Dime Square. It's 9:04 p.m. Eastern in New York City. We're worldwide. We're in New York. We're in Orlando. We're in Ireland. We're all over the place. We're global. It's NFL Week 10. This is Alphabet's Whiteboard edition. So we're going to be brainstorming, building some SGPs. We built this is the third week that we're doing this. We don't know if we'll do it every week, but whenever we can. Last week we built about 10, I would say, SGPs live, making the bets on the screen, and we hit a plus 4,000. Four-legger Browns with Watson, Amari Cooper, and the under. Very nice. And then Judah, on some of your articles, directionally was like on fire with calling the CJ Stroud having a big day with the Texans. And also didn't get as much attention, but one of the SGPs we built last week as well, some of the cores that you put together, Zach, with Sam Howell and Washington, going over 300 yards with Dotson, things like this, all playing out nicely. So let's do it again.
Yeah, I really was hoping the whole Vikings rookie QB didn't get his concussion, because that was set up nicely to be a
right. Thanks
big
for bringing that
game.
one up.
You already forget his name?
Yeah, I don't remember his fucking name, to be honest.
You didn't know his name to begin with.
Evan Hull, right?
But
Sharon Hall.
Yeah, Jaron Hall. That's what it was.
again, we
Rashid
brought up.
Shaheed.
It was funny because when we were building that, or just kind of again like drafting that potential game script, you were bringing up his highlights, Zach, and we showed it on screen, and we're just like, whoa. And it's funny, it all materialized in that first drive, and it looked super exciting. He literally got more than a third of the way of what we needed on all of his different legs on that one drive. So, and those were like plus 30,000, plus 50,000 style bets. Odds would have been so nice.
I just wanted to be able to tell people like, I was right about that rookie QB. No one was tailing. Like,
well, you can kind of say that.
Yeah, but it was only one drive. It hurts, but so be it.
All right. So what are we thinking about for week 10? So I know you've already done probably, Zach, you've already drafted your notes, so you've done some research. Judah, you've already written some notes, you've done some research. I've not done any. So, and I know, Judah, you might need to jump sooner rather than later, since it's basically Sunday. It is Sunday morning for you. So why don't you start? Anything? What are you looking at?
Yeah, I'd say some main builds I have are going right back to the well with CJ Stroud and company. I found myself using points bet a lot this weekend. Where I've gotten the best odds.
Yeah, I'll need to get that.
I think the kind of builds I'm looking at, we're going to start with kind of the basic, just like Stroud 300 or so, and the Texans to win. Get into the reasons why. These are fairly intuitive. If the Texans are going to win at this point, it is going to come through the air. They're not running on teams. Books are, I think, mispricing this correlation, as they often do with big spreads, pricing the passing overs as not correlated, assuming that teams run the ball when they get ahead. But if the Texans are going to build a lead, I think it'll be through Stroud. That's kind of like the base play here. I'd also say that the Bengals without T. Higgins and iffy Jamar Chase are not necessarily the offense of the past couple of weeks, and also just like they've hit on like a bunch of like 85th percentile games. That's not to say they aren't an awesome offense, but they're not going to be doing this every week. So to kind of play those tails. So I'm going to, I built this as I think 4 separate parlays. The one I wrote up was CJ Stroud to Tank Dell. Cincinnati's allowed the second most explosive plays without Nico Collins. Tank Dell has been the third best by my numbers, deep like separator, and I'm going to, yeah, the odds are so much better on points bet, like 95 yards. It's like plus 800 or something like that. But a Stroud 300, Tank Dell, it's like 6 catches and 95 yards. That's a build I'm going to play with. And also Dalton Schultz, I think is a very sneaky play here against a Titans team that's absolutely bleeding production to tight ends. They're going to, I imagine, have a fairly narrow distribution of targets. I think aside from like Tank Dell being an awesome deep threat, he's also just he's not a gadget player. He's going to earn targets. He had 11 last week to lead the team. This is a guy who I think can really step into this wide receiver 1 role, aside from the deep angle. And then Dalton Schultz, yeah, I mean, the Bengals are bleeding production. So I'm going to build just that base CJ Stroud 300, Texans minus 5.5. And then I'm going to build variations on a Schultz build, a Tank Dell build, and then combining both in case we see another huge day from Stroud. I built a 700 to 1.
Ooh, how'd you get to that? And yeah, so just for context,
I mean, the Texans minus 5.5 is going to really boost it.
Oof, that looks good, man. That looks good. I have Tank Dell 97 yards plus 254 on Bet Online, so not ideal, but if you're able to get
plus 254,
yeah, at 97, you have to go to 127 over plus 680. Oof.
Oh yeah, so it's worse, far worse.
Yeah,
I can share. Yeah,
interesting add-on, Judah, to your Tank Dell thesis. The 3 games he had over 7 targets this season. He hit 72 yards, 145, 114, and in each one of those games he scored a touchdown. I don't know, obviously with the correlation algo in the books, if you're going over big yards and all that stuff, adding like a touchdown is not necessarily going to boost it much, but just food for thought. One way or the other.
100%. So that's definitely a main angle. I really just like the pricing on all of these. I like the spot just because I think like combo of Texans passing game good. Wouldn't mind fading a sort of like Bengals lean. Not that I don't think the Bengals are good, just like you're going to be selling high on them. They're not going to be able to kind of sustain this level of performance. And then also like these, if you're going to isolate 2 guys, the fact that Cincinnati's brutal against tight ends, and the fact that like Dell is the clear deep threat and they struggle to defend the deep pass, I kind of love those angles as all being able to hit as well.
What kind of yards do you think about for Schultz?
Schultz, I went to like 95.
So you're looking for 2 100 wide receivers or receivers?
But that's the 700 to 1, yeah. That's like saying like all the production flows through those 2 guys.
Sure.
And in theory, I probably would boost that to like.
Would you, if someone wanted to leverage up, would you consider on the other side of it a Tyler Boyd? He actually probably his receptions might be safer than his receiving yards, but maybe like his 4 or 5 receptions. Obviously, you'd have to pay a premium at 4, but like at 5 receptions, he's at almost even money. So if someone want to leverage up, is that an angle you look at? Or, obviously if Higgins is out and Chase might be hobbled, Boyd's had some pretty decent targeting throughout the season.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I tend to not. There's no really good reason why. I tend to not try and like kind of layer
leverage.
on.
Yeah.
They're also not available. Just like additional.
I'm just wondering game
I
script wise, if we get what you're proposing, right? Is this kind of Houston upset victory? Burrow is still going to probably be throwing it his 35, 40 times. Just wondering if there's a especially if you're not, and for my sake, right, is kind of where I'm coming from, is especially if I'm not getting the pricing on my book that you're getting, Judah. That's generally why I look to like leg up or kind of take on more risk, is like, well, I'm not really getting the value, so like I might as well leverage up because I'm not getting the value. That's kind of how I'm thinking of it sometimes.
Yeah, no, I don't hate it. Again, I have the benefit of like getting the prices I like, and it just introduces more variance in a spot I'm not necessarily comfortable with, because like, I don't know, there could be a bunch of weird game scripts that are like semi-divorced, and like, again, it really all depends on pricing, but that's, I imagine, exactly where the books are like pricing that correctly.
I see. Okay.
So I'm trying to take advantage as much as I can of the things like, you know, Stroud passing being priced in as negatively correlated with a large alt spread, when I actually see those as positively correlated.
Nice.
Those are the sorts of spots. And then it's like, okay, let's play out the story. Why is it? How is Stroud getting to those 300 yards? Well, in this spot, it's probably going to be Tank Dell. The books are probably not pricing this appropriately, also considering Nico Collins and etc. And for the 700 to 1, like, yeah, in theory, you probably should actually have like Stroud 325 or Stroud 350, which doesn't really do much for the odds once you're at 700 to 1. Because if you're accounting for, you know, already 2/3 of the yards in your bet, it's probably worth just pushing those props up. But that's the reason why it's still sitting at 300. But that's definitely a core spot.
I like the price you got. That's because I'm trying to build something similar with BetOnline. I'm just like, oof, just not getting the price. It's like,
I mean, I wouldn't mind making, you know, 70K tomorrow. I would like that a lot. It's the repeat of last ago. Probably it'd have to be more, actually.
And the reason I also like this angle, Judah, to your point, is we have some key variables that I mean, like, obviously it's priced in, but from a thematic alt game script, I don't think it's priced in, to your point, which is, Bengals offense, the assumption is the Bengals are back, right? Like, oh, they're back from last year and all this stuff. And like, yeah, they are, maybe, but also like they're hurt now. So things have kind of changed in this specific game. And kind of like the Bears versus Denver, when on that short week playing Washington, basically Fields and the Bears offense ran it back, right? Like we saw this the week before. They had a good game plan against Washington. You obviously called it, Brett, and you both capitalized on it. So to me, there's this kind of like assumption that I see a lot of times where like, well, Stroud has had his best game ever, so he can't repeat that. And obviously he's not going to repeat that, but it's almost like fade what we've just seen rather than lean into it, because this could be a start of a new trend kind of a thing. So just like from a kind of like a macro view, it just makes a lot of sense to me fundamentally that like, oh no, based on the matchup itself, but also just the continuation of Stroud trending in this direction, he could have that kind of success again, not 450 yards, but 325 and that kind of game script.
I mean, he's had a bunch of these games, and I will say it's probably worth, like, I definitely bet on Stroud more than any other quarterback in the league this year. Like, this build, I've just been constantly like, you've
been on it. It's been great.
Yeah, like, I saw from a get-go, like, this is a guy who's pumping in most of the numbers. But I agree with that, and I think it's just important to note, like, the Bengals are a great offense right now. No one's denying that. But in the same way they can have 80th to 85th percentile outcomes, like, they can also have 25th percentile outcomes. And especially when it's being priced as like, oh, they're fully back, and there's good reason to believe that this is a 25% spot, more so because of the injuries, etc. Like, you want to price yourself on the side where, like, you can capitalize on the variance in one direction or another. And I think it, like, points to the 25. Like, even if the Bengals are good, like, Stroud can just have an awesome day. Like, great quarterbacks can win in this league. And CJ Stroud might be a great quarterback. I'm not ready to crown him as such, but, like, put together some huge performances. And at the very least, if, like, it's the third quarter and this game's tied and a bunch of my legs are going to hit, you sure bet I'm going to hedge a lot. Like, if I can get a Bengals plus, 6.5, at, like, even if it's minus 200, but I've got some other legs that are hitting, I've got a huge other side to work with. And that was, like, the benefit last week. If my legs had effectively hit, I just needed the Texans spread to cash, and I was like, okay, I placed a huge hedge live. Great. I even opened a little bit of a middle, like, if that game went to overtime. That's the sort of spot. And I think kind of like we talk about SGPs, they're great. Like, they also offer a ton of value if you're betting live.
Yeah. No, I agree. And one thing, just to kind of get your thoughts on it, So I brought this up in our Discord when about the Joe Burrow play that I think you had in your article and I had separately as a SGP option in mine as well, is, you know, the Bengals versus the 49ers, calling that upset, calling that alt spread, calling Burrow having an uptick. The thing that fell short was Burrow's yards. His all overs were a little short. So as far as capturing, capitalizing on the narrative that was correct, is there any kind of like leveraging down that's worth considering in these type spots? So like, for instance, if we look at this game this week with Houston, if we do kind of CJ Stroud's base 254 yards over, Tank Dell's base 57 yards, and let's say Houston covering plus 6.5. So like, we're still directionally leaning that way, but we're like, well, if one or two things go against us from a variance game script perspective, like we can still kind of capitalize or hedge our bets maybe. Is that an angle you think is worth considering? Like, would you, what kind of pricing would you be looking for to do that? Just so, like, for instance, that Joe Burrow 49ers script is like, you're deadly accurate on the alts. You know, even Jamar, was it Chase, I think, went over, but, you know, Burrow was a little short. So if you blew your load on the lottery tickets, you're not really capturing the upside that, hey, you may have got a 5x return versus a 70x.
Yeah, I think it depends. I think for Burrow, the answer is yes. You would want kind of that like base script just because he's a lot more of a known quantity. And it's a little bit easier. Like, that was kind of a spot of like, in as much as we were playing Burrow, it was also just like we were kind of playing the Bengals for back and like the Niners aren't as good. For Stroud, it's like, I'm not interested in being semi-right here. Okay. You know, if I'm right, I'm going to be really right.
Gotcha.
It's not like Burrow where it's like, I'm also introducing players here. Like, you're not gonna like sneak by and be like, 256.5 they covered. Also, we're not even gonna get good odds there. It's like, either fundamentally mispricing this or they're not. It's not like some other question. I really want to take advantage of the uncertainty when it's presented. That's really what's going to guide the answer.
Okay. Yeah, it's situational, and that makes sense.
It is.
I dig that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I bet that too. I had to sneak in a leg. Just get a better price.
Had to get greedy?
Well, no, not even greedy. It's just to make it worth the bet, because it's just not. I just wasn't getting the pricing that Judah was getting on Bet Online.
Oh, gotcha.
So that's why. But so I saw in your article, Judah, if you want to talk about it, and if you don't, feel free to pass to something else. Is you're leaning towards a potential Minshew versus the Patriots lean? Yeah,
that's less of a kind of big same game parlay one for me. I took, and the prices have subsequently moved a lot. I took a Minshew 250. This is a perfect example, by the way, what you're talking about. And Colts minus 5.5. I just see this as a spot where the market really doesn't have a good handle on the Colts offense, which is actually, like, I think a pretty average to above average unit. And their defense has been atrocious. Their corners are horrible, but the Patriots can't take advantage of that. And then it's just like, okay, play this game out. How are the Colts going to win? New England's one of the biggest pass funnels in the league. They force teams to throw against them because they stop the run well. They don't really have the personnel in the secondary to slow teams down. And like Gardner Minshew, I'm not expecting to have a huge game just because I don't expect the Colts. First of all, I don't think they'll be so downfield. And I don't expect them to accumulate enough volume because they're still going to be kind of run heavy. But I just thought the kind of like 750 for a Minshew, 250 when that's the like clear path of least resistance against the Patriots play. But I'm not loving anything kind of juicier out there, just with so many unknowns on who's going to catch passes for the Colts, and I also don't see that same huge upside as I do with other quarterbacks.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. I think Downs is out as well, so.
Minshew has put together some huge passing games this year, so you could play that for sure.
Let's see.
It's just not on my
Minshew's priced more aggressively than Mac Jones. I mean, Colts defense is terrible.
His defense is terrible.
Mac Jones is plus 640, 300 yards.
What's the
Mac Juju resurgence? Terrible Juju.
I want to see what Demario Douglas's prices are.
750, 100.
I can get 1050 at 95. I can't. Mac Jones is probably not available right now, though. What's up with that?
I did a little research. Oh no, sorry. Let's finish this game, then we'll go to another game I want to talk about.
So Jones
one thing about this,
Douglas 90 is plus 1700.
Do we know? And obviously these are different Patriots teams. It's not really relevant here, but the Patriots have performed pretty well overseas, from what I've been reading. Do you? I mean, obviously, again, the matchup these teams this year may not matter, but with a quarterback like Minshew, I don't know. Like, to me, do we see a scenario where if the Patriots are going to just kind of have one of those typical Belichick type games, getting all the turnover bounces, how does that game script play out? Is it a heavy, backfield running script, turnover heavy game for Minshew?
Probably that's an unders game. But
like a 31-10 type game or something.
If we're using data from Tom Brady's tenure to like get to our point, I don't think it's really
also Bill Belichick's tenure.
But I think what's interesting about this build is, I imagine that the Indianapolis money line is going to be a smaller boost than New England. But if the Patriots are passing for 300 yards, I'm not sure. I think they win this game.
Yeah.
Wow, the Patriots actually boosted a lot more than the Colts.
Right.
Surprisingly.
I mean, the Patriots are plus 1.8 relative to.
Yeah, but
still,
it would.
I don't see if Mac, meaning the whole, at least my perspective of this game is like, if Jones isn't going to, right? If he's going, but if he is going to succeed, it's probably they're going to win
from behind.
That's an interesting angle as well. It's not. I don't love SGPing this game personally.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Well, actually, let me bring up one other point from last week that we and I tried to key on in the Discord, is, we've had 60% of games total go under, and even more so just like the variant under game scripts, like these kind of 17-10 Steeler Ravens, this, last week Cardinals get no points. Is what we realized last week building the SGP is the inverse correlation of having some over props with that kind of total under. And so I'm wondering this week, do we see any because there's definitely spots where you're like, scoring might be at a premium here. So any games that we see a similar, key on a couple players overs just being keyed on, and then, but the total going under just to kind of boost leverage the bet.
Yeah. I mean, this game I would think really fits that bill. But I would say, and this has probably been one of the SGPs I've leaned into a lot, is passing total over with opposing team total team under. I think Tampa Bay, which is a Tennessee versus Tampa Bay, which is itself a spot I really like, can fit that bill, especially because you probably want play volume in order for Levis to kind of get to his yardage prop. But this itself is a spot we can talk about because I definitely really like it.
Levis 300 yards plus 640. 325 plus 1100.
Yeah. Brett, I'm excited for you to see the points bet numbers. And if you continue to bet SGPs, they'll think you're just a complete fish, and they won't limit you. It's beautiful. I'm routinely getting 1500s here. Levis is 325 on points bet is 1300.
Okay, well that's at least mildly. It's not double some of the other ones we were talking about.
The one I played, I played some Levis 300 and Tennessee. I want to say 5.5. Or maybe it was 4.5. But Levis props, Levis spreads. And the one I really like here is, I don't know what the prices are like on FanDuel, but on point spread, the Nick Westbrook-Akine 65 yards was 14-1. Combined, I got a Levis 275, Tennessee minus 2.5, Tennessee minus 3.5. Nick Westbrook-Ikhine has 65 yards and 120 to 1. Traylon Burks is out. Tampa Bay is
Terrible.
extremely prone to, as we saw last week, the deep passes, which I think is actually a perfect combo for Levis's kind of traits. As a guy who seems to be the type of quarterback who's going to do well in structure against bad teams. But Nick Westbrook-Ikhine is going to be on the field a ton. He has certainly played that deep threat role. He might only take one catch to get over 65 yards. And at 120 to 1, that's a juicy one.
Do we
That
know
type of angle too is if you played the receptions under. I know it's a little bit dangerous since there's there's only so many options, but those types of blow off wide receivers.
Yeah.
Like if with all the Rashid Shaheed like SGPs you've done, in almost every single one, if you would have played receptions under as well, you probably would have like quadrupled it.
It's one of the most. That's one of the best angles. Talked about non-correlated ones for sure. Westbrook-Ikhine, the issue is he's not just like a gadget player.
Sure.
Yeah. Is he? So the last 2 weeks his usage was 50 and 58% snap percent. Was that because Traylon Burks was playing both those weeks?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Right.
So he's out now. So it should go back to where it was, which is what 70 to 80% the weeks when Traylon I think was out.
So Brett, what's Tennessee minus? Oh, it's already. You can see the difference between FanDuel and PointsBet already here.
So 300 with Titans money line, not the minus like 5.5 or 4.5.
Yeah, I also had Levis 275.
Oh.
But either way.
What the fuck?
We don't even have receptions.
Wait, show more. Do the show more.
Oh, there we go. Oh, it's 1.5. That's
you can't do that.
Well, that definitely really close. You're basically betting singularly on one giant pass.
It must be 75 yards, 70 yards or more.
Exactly.
So you're not actually placing this, are you?
No. Yeah, I'm playing the over 1.5. I mean,
yeah, I'm shocked.
Doesn't do anything, but
yeah, maybe you can get a juice 2.5, and then you can. Well, that's not even play out.
But also, you can't add these. Yeah, the longest receptions.
It's tough. Yeah, it's definitely a spot I like.
It's not bad. I mean, Levis 300. So, I mean, if you're going to make a trade-off between Levis 300 to 275 or add a few more points to Titans, what do you think is better?
I would go Levis 275. In the game script in which Levis is succeeding passing, I don't think the Bucs offense is going to be able to keep pace. But I would be worried about the volume more than anything else.
That's a good point.
But I mean, the Bucs last week certainly.
And you did Titans out to minus what? How far?
I did 3.5 just because that's like on PointsBet. The odds are kind of funky like that.
Gotcha.
Okay, there's no real boost going from 3.5 to 5.5. FanDuel, there'll be a boost from going 3.5 to 5.5. It's just crazy.
Okay, so Ikhine 70 yards, Will Levis 275, Titans minus 3.5. It's like hard, like Titans winning by margin, and like the Bucs are like pesky enough, as we saw, especially like last week was like a perfect example of it, just like hanging around enough.
Yeah, my take here is that like odds are in this scenario, like by the fourth quarter. Whether or not, or like midway through the fourth quarter, whether or not your first two legs are gonna hit, and it's like I want that position because there's gonna be a huge boost going from 2.5 to 3.5, and there's a solid chance that like everything's hit, or there's a solid chance that we would kind of get out of your position.
Sure. It's up there now. I can see that. If I don't want to monitor it that closely.
It's just crazy to me, the difference, like 55 to 1 versus 120 to 1.
The under 38.5. What about that? What about the under in this game?
Yeah, I don't mind it at all.
Yeah.
I think you
could still rack up these yards without necessarily them scoring.
For sure. Yeah. I'd be more interested in a Tampa Bay team total under in this game than I would be the under here. Because like you kind of need to be only direction. Like you only need to be like, if you get Levis 280, you're fine. But like if Levis goes for 310 or 320, which is very much in the realm of possibilities, I would think. Yeah.
Bucks under 20.5.
It barely moves it.
I mean, it doubles it. Almost. I mean, I think under 20.5 is certainly safer than 38.5. If these things are, I mean, you got Titans money line. I mean, that's almost perfectly embedded there. I mean, if you're gonna do Bucks under 20.5 and the Titans money line,
yeah, it's also a good point from,
versus
someone in the chat. For those that are on PointsBet, if you want to bet on Nick Westbrook-Ikine, that's a good spot to kind of take that over. They'll pay out distributionally. I don't know if that's exactly. He does have like a extremely low floor, but some members of our Discord have been really hitting on these like PointsBet, betting on like CJ Stroud last week. Like you can get a 200 to 1 and just placing a prop. There's just either way. This is the Levis is definitely a spot I'll be looking towards. Another one that I wrote up, and I think this is an interesting kind of sneaky spot, and one, Brett, that we played in Circa. Yeah, the Packers against the Steelers. Noted Steelers hater, apparently. I like a
just fundamentally disinclined to bet them.
Yeah, I like a Love. I bet this. Love 250, Watson 80 and a touchdown, 30 to 1. Steelers are.
Watson was had every single injury known to man. He's fine.
No, I thought he was fine. He had a little bruise.
He had a bruise to his head, neck, back, knee, shin.
Oh no. Let's.
Okay, so you're doing Love 250.
Love 250. Probably much worse. I'm everything I bet for some reason was PointsBet this week. They really had
good pricing.
All of the better. Usually it's like a mix.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were all a FanDuel guy last year.
Yeah.
Okay, Love 250, Watson what?
80 and a touchdown. This is going to be again half the price. It's wild. I don't like it at 15 to 1.
Yeah, I have 14 to 1 on BetOnline. Oof.
I got 12 to 1 on FanDuel.
I have 30 to 1. Well, I guess for I guess the moral here is we should get on PointsBet. It's probably worth everyone's time to get on PointsBet tonight. I'm checking now to see if it's still there. It is.
God, they really shortchange you.
It is 35 to 1 now.
It went up
on PointsBet. Yeah, I lost some closing line value. This is tough.
Actually, here's a good one for the under that you blend that with the under.
Yeah,
you're going to have to get the value. It seems like.
Also, so if you add in the under, it goes to 56.
This is fully a deep ball type sort of play.
Yeah,
Love has the highest.
Yeah,
Love has
right.
the highest ADOT in the league. One of the highest percentage of deep passes. The Steelers allow the highest ADOT in the league. Allow the third most explosive plays. Watson's going to be that guy. at some point he's going to come down with a couple of these deep passes. We know the volume is going to be there. Like, it's only a matter of time before he hits it, and this is exactly the sort of spot and matchup in which he is best suited, I think, to do that. But yeah, another great spot.
If I swapped out Watson touchdown for Packers money line, it's the same.
Yeah, it's fine. I think I was like playing the like specifically like long touchdown play.
Yeah, you get a long touchdown.
But I always prefer the money line, to be honest, than I do like for a touchdown. Touchdowns are fluky. Like if he's tackled on the 3 versus tackled on the 1, and you get the added like added ability to bet live if you need to.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do Love 250, Watson 80 with the touchdown, and the under with the Packers money line. 100 to 1.
The Steelers' offense is so bad. If one of these deep passes to Watson goes, Packers probably winning that game.
Yeah, man, if J.R. Alexander was playing it, this would be even nicer. Let's see, what is
the money line worth it? Because, like we know, sometimes the spread on these
It
SGPs.
doubles it.
I mean, compared to the spread, though, is it
Uh,
worth it for the 3-point cushion,
Yeah, let me check this one.
or even an alt if you want to get it to like 3.5, 4. But just because, again, it's sometimes these algos are completely whack. I literally had one today, Jude. I added to see the pricing. I had 2,200 at a 4-legger. I added another leg, and it went down to 2,100. And it was like they weren't even that correlated. And I'm like,
there was a year when I first got on Caesar Sportsbook where if you bet like, say their spread was -2.5, and then you wanted to bet like -5.5, say it was like +160 or whatever. If you bet the -2.5 parlayed with the -5.5, and obviously for the 5.5 to hit, the 2.5 has to hit, it would boost your odds from like 160 to 190. And it would do that every time.
Hey, thank you. Thank you,
Like,
Caesars.
this is a ridiculous inefficiency. Yeah. That's
See, I like this. Okay.
we touched on. I have to say, I think this is my biggest card of the season.
This week?
Yeah, just in terms of spots I'm attacking by a lot. I think, honestly, I think I have like angles on basically all games, which is not a good sign. Hopefully one of them hits. All right, you ready for my craziest one?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, I'm a noted Baltimore Ravens seller, which has been an absolute disaster this year. Absolute disaster. I've leaned into them strongest in games against the
Asterisk, it's week 10. And one of the things that we were talking about last week with me and Zach was how when we were doing our off-season previews, how we would show team trends. And so many times there would be like a pretty strong pivot point in that mid-season range where we were talking about how everyone pats themselves on the back and says like, oh, like, you know, there's not a lot of uncertainty anymore by mid-season. By mid-season, we know who these teams are. And in fact, we saw over and over and over again that was not the case. In fact, teams changed mid-season, had like long-term head fakes and turned into like a team and actually reverted sometimes back to who you thought they were going to be actually by the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And this could be a perfect example of this. And I think even Zach, you were highlighting like this could be like that catalyst game versus a tough defense, division game, you know, and kind of exposes the Ravens for being a little bit like that team versus the Colts and less so a team than we saw versus the Lions.
Well, like the Steelers game. And also real quick, I rewatched some of the tape from their previous matchup. I mean, situationally, you know, Dorian Thompson was the quarterback. He had 3 turnovers. And it was really Lamar Jackson's evasiveness in the pocket, is, you know, extending plays and finding guys like, I mean, which again, he can do, and that happens. But, you know, once you've seen it, they know that's how the Ravens are going to have success on offense. So it's easier to key on. So I want to hear from Judah, but I definitely can see where a Browns game script goes in their favor.
Yeah, I will say, like, fully agree with you, Brett, on that point. And I think, like, the name of the game now is about, like, kind of trying to quantify by the different types of change, which is like teams are constantly evolving. Is that something that is like substantive changing about the team, right? Like my favorite example of this recently would be like Washington has changed their pass protections, right? They like, we're only dropping 5 guys to block. And then like, the number of times where they were dropping 6 or 7 guys was like 14-15% for the first bunch of weeks, and then jumped to like 30 to 40. Like that to me has some sort of signal. Could that be canceled out with some other thing that's changing? Sure. But it's like balancing kind of, and this is obviously a lot easier said than done, balancing these sorts of changes and seeing like, are they just kind of like substantive and like a qualitative change to the team, or is it just like some blip in ours? The case for the deep kind of Browns play here is that the Ravens have had 2 terrific games, and those happen to come against really good teams, but they haven't actually been good outside of those games. And like you can make all sorts of different cases, and they like basically haven't played anyone good outside of those 2 games, but like there's a non-zero chance they've played their 90th percentile games in both of those spots. And like actually their true value, like their true team is like definitely not power ranked as like the 3rd best team, but like, I don't know, like 12th to 15th. And it's like, if you look at their team on paper, it's when Lamar's not playing hero ball, it's really not that good. Their defensive coordinator is great, but like how much of that is propped up by poor quarterback play? Not necessarily that Deshaun Watson's any better, but all of that is a preface to say the Ravens are certainly a pass funnel team. And I think getting rid of Donovan Peoples-Jones is going to be an addition by subtraction for this passing unit. And I think like Watson has such a propensity to throw deep and can have success there that like I'm going to, and his props are so low.
Yeah, I'm just noticing right now. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, they were really low last week as well, and that's one of the reasons why we kind of exploited that a little bit.
And especially if you get the Browns know they have to pass to win this game, especially if you can get a lot of added play volume by virtue of the Browns defense playing well against the Ravens.
Sure.
I bet you don't even have it here. I bet Watson 300, Browns -2.5 at 140 to 1, which is just an egregious price.
Wow, really? Wow, that's huge.
Which is an egregious price.
What's the build?
That's big. That's a big number.
300. There may have been an additional 300. It's also may have been like a Watson like rush attempts, which are correlated with the Browns winning because of knees, and also like anytime any of Watson's healthy games, he's gone over this number. Yeah, that's what it was. It was Watson 4 rush attempts. 300 and -1.5, 140 to 1, and then if you put up 2.5 to 5.5, it's 200 to 1. But like, there's a difference between betting on a like Stroud throwing for 400 yards is a 1 percentile outcome game, not for Stroud, for anyone in the NFL, right? A quarterback throwing for 300 yards is not a 1 percentile outcome. It might be a 1 percentile outcome for that player in that circumstance, but there's a difference between the two things because we have pretty good certainty of what's a 1 percentile outcome for the NFL. We're never going to have, I don't think, real good certainty of what's 1 percentile outcome for a player. And that's a huge difference. And like, I don't know, would it be totally shocking if like Watson's already had a game close to 300 yards?
No, and to your point, Jude, I mean, what, the worst quarterback in the NFL to start the season, Desmond Ridder at one point he threw back-to-back 300-yard games? I mean, just kind of
happens. It happens, especially for
Watson 275 and Browns -5.5 is 5,200.
That's not bad.
It's like I basically got that bet at like 200 to 1. 300, yeah, but even still,
crazy. Such a good price.
Wow. Number.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if like I could do it on Bet Online because what I liked about because we were building on Bet Online last week because FanDuel's down, and Bet Online lets you go deeper out into some of those prop numbers.
Not this one. This Watson is capped at 280 plus 269. Pretty bad. And if you parlay that with just the money line, because you can't do alts in the parlay builder, it's only plus 900.
Bad.
Which I'm offended by compared to what Judah got.
Yeah.
So you're not paralleling this with any wide receivers?
No, I mean, I guess Cooper could do it, but like I'm already getting. I mean,
Yeah.
what's the difference between 200 to 1, 400 to 1? I don't want to introduce that variance.
Yeah. Whereas we may have to, Brett, to get any kind of bump in value. Let's see. God, these fuckers. These motherfuckers. Terrible prices.
Yeah.
Added Cooper 95.
They know.
It barely moves it. Now it's 190 to 1.
Kabir's asking, considering how good Lamar did against the Browns defense in week 4, how do you think he'll do this week? I guess so. There's also like the other side of this.
Well, like I said, I thought it was somewhat situational. They got an early 21-7 lead or something, I think, in the first half, and they kind of sat on it. But it's also, they didn't, I don't know, like Dorian Thompson was so terrible that it kind of made everything else easier, I think, for the whole team. Just better field position. And
I mean, Lamar also, like, if I'm remembering correctly, got barely dropped the pass and got sacked a couple times also.
Yeah, he did too.
Game you can play when you've got Dorian Thompson Robinson on the other side.
What about the under on this too? So this 5x is it?
Oh
yeah, I don't hate it. In my game script, I think like the Browns have to score a lot of points here, so you could be betting on a Ravens complete like offensive sputtering.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the like likely game script in my story is like a 31-21 type of game.
yeah, I think so too.
But 275, 2.5 can also hit in a bunch of other ways, or not. The story I had in my head, like that could just be like crazy passing volume.
Yeah, man, it's hard to get this out. But I think this is pretty good at 30 to 1, just a Watson 275, and the Browns win by a field goal, -2.5. It's pretty decent.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
I'd say
But yeah, let's do one. Again, I guess we're not going to be able to get some of those prices that Judah's talked about, but, like a true, plus 25,000.
like 250 to 1.
Yeah.
Complete moonshot. I think this is our game right here. I think that's our game. Falcons Cardinals.
Oh yeah, a little Kyler Murray.
Give me a Kyler Murray coming back. This Falcons defense is bad, really bad.
Really? I mean, they grade pretty well from the EDP perspective.
They are the biggest. Yeah, that's early in the season. I think if we.
Yeah, somewhat fraudulent.
They are really, really good against the run, and really, really bad against the pass.
What about Heineke?
Don't hate Heineke. Okay, that's another way, but just like playing like a full shootout game script here with two.
Yeah. I mean, Heineke 300, Murray 300 is 43 to 1.
Oh.
I like adding some. Certainly, I don't know who's catching the ball for Atlanta, but I think this is Hollywood.
Hodges.
Yeah, Darryl Hodge.
Dude, he's been getting more and more. Like last week, we did the over 65 plus like 800 as one of the angles, and he got 60 yards. He was 4 yards short, and that's what we had like a 250 to 1 parlay we built last week that didn't hit because it was those 4 yards short.
Yeah,
I don't have him listed on Bet Online though. Just FYI, London might be playing.
Yeah, and then London's back. So
okay, well. So I'm sure he's that discounted. He's not even on here. Fuck.
I'm liking Marquise Hollywood Brown here.
They have a good rapport too.
Playing well.
You like Marquise Brown?
Do you go back to the Oklahoma days? That's the point. I'm curious how this moves.
Ooh, see his all over Marquise Brown. Not that we'd go this high. but on Bet Online is plus 1,600, 128.
Yeah, it's also
a little high.
No, that's great because actually Marquise Brown on here is 125 plus 1,000.
Oh, yeah, so it's pumped on Bet Online. They're saying take the bait. Woo! Well, that fucking made it blow up. Okay.
What?
And there's a I don't hate Trey McBride here either.
So on Bet Online, if you just do both QBs over 300 yards, Arizona over 20 points, and Marquise Brown over 128 yards.
That's a tough one.
You're getting 19,000, 198 to 1.
What you did, Cardinals over?
Yeah, Cardinals team total over 20.5. Murray over 300, Tyler Heineke over 300, and Marquise Brown over 128 as his key weapon. I mean that actually kind of makes sense, especially since he hasn't really had time to really he missed all of OTs and all the OTAs and stuff. He is probably, even if he has success, lean on what's most comfortable, I would imagine. And to your point, I mean, Hollywood Brown is something he's actually comfortable with, someone he's comfortable with. So
Also just good.
Also good. Ooh, this really goes up. What about his rushing? Do we think Kyler's gonna?
Oh yeah, I added some. I wanted rush attempts rather than rush yards, but
Okay. Oh,
for who's
they don't
winning
have
this
it on
game?
Betterline.
That's gonna get you to 400 to 1.
I'm trying to get there right now.
Dude, I'm gonna get you there.
Well, here's 800 to 1 if Kyler Murray's also going to run for 70 yards and 300 passing. It's like a true comeback game.
Well, I think this is pretty fair though. I have 330 to 1. If you add everything I said and you just add Arizona winning, because I think that plays out. I mean, if they're going to get over 20 points, I mean, and Kyler's throwing 300 yards, I mean, they're right there. It's going to be, they're going to be right there to win it. So
okay, so first of all, this is also why you play around with it. Basically, there's no difference between Kyler Murray 70 yards and Kyler Murray 50 yards.
Yeah, they're already pricing it as like we're automatically winning this bet.
Yeah. I also have Murray 3 touchdowns and Heineke 3 touchdowns.
I actually kind of want to take Heineke out now and just do a Murray stack, just because it totally nukes it.
Dude, I could see this game though being one of those I mean, I was a little bit worried about Falcons defense, but if you think the Falcons defense isn't good, then this could be like 30s to 30s.
Good.
But Will, how many yards did Heineke throw last week? They still want it. It's just so hard because Arthur Smith
came
just
close to
loves
300
to run it.
yards.
It's so hard
Did
to
he?
throw 300.
What's
I
weird
thought he almost threw for 300 in the Titans game. He didn't even play the whole game.
No, 175, 268. The last 2 games.
So 268 he had last week?
Yeah. I mean, he did have 38 pass attempts last week. So if he's a little more on target.
I mean, the defense is bad, but
Well, and so what's hard with Heineke going over 2 is the best drive Atlanta had of the day last week versus the Vikings was literally the drive they ran it every fucking down with Tyler Algier down the field and got a touchdown. So it's just hard.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring Heineke down.
Yeah.
watch Heineke's gonna go for Heineke's gonna go for 20.
But also Arizona
Arizona
struggles
saying
versus
actually
the run.
Heineke has better odds of going for 300 than Murray.
Mm-hmm. That's why I love Murray, because they don't know how to price one.
No, that's incorrect. So, but also, I think Atlanta's got to know Arizona struggles against the run, and obviously Arizona knows that too. But I don't know. It's hard for me to see unless in the game script, like we're talking about, Arizona just kind of builds a lead, 14-point lead, and it kind of forces Atlanta's hand. That could be one way.
Actually, I'm gonna do this one. This one's not actually that bad at 250 to 1. Brown 100, Murray 350, 300 yards and 50 rushing, and Heineke 250.
Okay. What's the price?
250 to 1.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
This is essentially the Fields bet from Washington.
Yeah.
A little more. Yeah.
Less has to happen, actually.
Yeah, you're right.
Because I had more 100 yards and a touchdown. I don't even need Marquise Brown touchdown. What's Marquise Brown touchdown?
Oh, do you think what's his name could
Man,
eat with Kyler Murray, the rookie tight end?
Yeah,
McBride?
he said he liked McBride.
McBride. What's McBride's situation? Whew. Tight end, can he get 100 yards?
That's like
Plus 2,000.
It doesn't do enough to. I mean, that's gonna boost it, but it doesn't. I don't think it's worthwhile.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think his top is? Like 70, 80?
Oh, he could. I mean, like, he'll have some 100-yard games in his career.
Just not this one.
Maybe
Not today. Not today.
Is Murray going to be sluggish trying to run it, though?
Very probable.
I would rather the rush attempts than the rush yards, but
Yeah.
my theory for these things is that players are going to play 100% if they don't know any other way, and they have no reason not to.
No. I'm not saying he wouldn't, but I'm just saying, like, is he now?
He's
Just-
healthy. That's why he's playing.
I'm not saying
Like,
he's not healthy. I'm saying, is he scared?
I don't think so. But I also don't know. No one knows. If there's any, here's my thought process on it. If there's any market narrative about this, which I'm not sure there is, it would be, oh, he won't be running as well. And I think the narrative should be no one knows anything. Like, there's no way you can tell me one way or another with certainty enough to move any price that, like, Kyler Murray, Wheeler won't scramble more, or like Wheeler won't be as sluggish running. Like, no one can know. We're all just making it up.
Are we speculating?
No, we wouldn't speculate on sports.
My question, all right, one thing I was thinking too is, so I like this angle as an option, right? Is there a world we play the inverse of this where Atlanta, Murray is rusty, just doesn't have it that day, and it plays in Atlanta's hands versus a bad run defense where they finally just fucking ram it down Arizona's throat all day, and
Sure.
you get like maybe Bijan and Algier kind of like blow up a little bit. I think everyone's waiting for Bijan to blow up, but
Bijan blow up was very interesting.
let's see where to go.
I mean, but can you actually make a lot of money on that?
I'm gonna
probably
look
not.
at it. Let me see. But if you
could
key on both of them, maybe.
you could bet.
I mean, it's not that bad. Like, I mean, Bijan over 97 yards is plus 430. I mean, again,
Let me see the game script that
and then what about Algier? If they both get close to 100 yards, because the one thing with Atlanta is they want to do that. Like, they want it to get to a place where they can have a 21-3 lead and just fucking run it. Switchbacks between drives. Bijan can cap it with a Breece Hall type 60-yard breakaway. Algier, they'll just feed every first and second down. Let me set another prop.
I don't love this play. Let's see. If you get both quarterback unders, Bijan alt rushing yards, Falcons. Alt.
Ooh.
Script. Probably not going to be juicy enough. The rushing ones are just really hard to capitalize on.
Yeah.
They really, really are.
Well, especially this year, I feel like rushing has been down across the league. Like, just from players having explosive games.
Yeah, I really just want like alt. If I can get alt unders for passing yards, then you can do it.
Yeah, if you could do like egregious all under type things, so they just don't.
Yeah, just like let me bet like Taylor Heineke under 175 yards. Yeah, I'm not liking anything I'm seeing. The best I can do is Bijan 125, Heineke under 220.5, Falcons minus 6.5, Kyler Murray under 220.5 for 60-1. I don't like that. think got a couple more minutes on here. It is
I think actually this is my base for this is just the Murray 100, Brown 100, and Heineke 250. I mean, at 40-1. Because again, I don't know. It's harder to pair Heineke with anybody because with London coming back, and it's kind of just going to be potentially all over the place. But just essentially leaning to the fact that this is going to be two bad defenses. Adding the over does nothing. I basically need to add Kyler Murray 3 touchdowns in order to move it from a touchdowns perspective. So like this is like the bare bones.
I'll tell you one I don't mind, Judah. It's only 24-1. But if you want to play the inverse with Bijan, I mean, if you do Atlanta -1.5, Bijan over 117 yards, which again is basically keying on him getting like a nice explosive like 65-yard run at some point, and have 1 touchdown, which probably from that explosive run, is 24-1.
What's the first leg?
It's Atlanta winning by 1.5.
Oh, Atlanta winning.
And then just Bijan basically a touchdown in his over max at 117.
Yeah. I mean, it's like
if you added inverse correlated leg, you get a nice boost, or even a correlated leg like Heineke under. It goes it pops a little bit for you. Let's see, over unders, where you at, buddy? So if we go under, if we add Heineke for a boost, we get it to 47-1 under his pass yards.
In Tommy DeVito 250 Giants money line 110-1.
What's his passing yards? Let's see.
FanDuel didn't even offer the alts. Oh,
they're like,
nope. Just touchdowns.
It's not.
I got 1 points bet.
Yeah, they don't offer. They have all passing touchdowns.
Oh, Josh Downs is playing.
Okay. All right. So before you go, Judah, what's one last build like, or one angle?
One
one game.
Let's see. We hit on Houston. We hit on Tennessee.
Commies Seahawks. Anything there?
I don't mind like a.
Tommy's down to 5.5.
How will we trust? Can Howell win that game? Is Seattle kind of hitting a wall?
I don't mind the Howell 300. Commies -2.5.
These are just like our go-tos every week.
Yeah, I bet on Howell. I feel like
Howell 300, Howell 3 touchdowns, Commies to win, alt line.
I feel like I have enough exposed at this point. Like I have like a 600-1 Commies to beat a wild card team.
Oh, nice.
Like, this is a kind of a huge game for that.
That's definitely live.
I got it. It is live. I got a Howell 300, Washington 2.5 and 10-1. I think it was like 7.5 on FanDuel.
Okay, I think that could work here.
I
do really like the alt spreads on like these kind of touchdown angled games because they can swing one touchdown the other way. Like no problem. It's not like 12-1 odds.
Well, especially you go into OT. I mean, reminds me of that Seattle game, the Seattle-Detroit game, where Seattle was +5 or something, and they win by 6 in OT. Like,
yeah, Howell 300, Commies -5.5 is 12-1.
Yeah, I got some of that at 14-1. I think what's interesting this year is we actually have a lot of like decent quarterbacks on bad teams, where like they'll be 6.5 point dogs. Right, like the CJ Strouds, the Sam Howells, those sorts of guys.
Do we see an explosive game this week? I mean, like a game where you're kind of basically keying on like all the overs are gonna have a chance to hit, and obviously they kind of hit variations.
In general,
yeah, just like a game like
the sneakiest spot for that, I think.
Yeah,
is
Denver
Chargers Lions.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Or the Falcons Cardinals.
Yeah,
Chargers
right.
Lions.
I think we need some more variations with that Atlanta Cardinals game.
You guys
I
go
think
build that.
We'll build that. We'll do
It's
an angle.
3:10. I'm going to sleep.
Get some sleep.
We've got a long day tomorrow.
A lot of football.
Oh yeah.
Today for you.
Yeah.
Go,
Okay,
go
sounds good.
Yep. Thanks, Judah.
Thanks, Judah.
Y'all.
Darnell said he might go to Chargers Detroit, looking for some cheap tickets.
Oh, really? I thought you were gonna say he might go to Ireland. I was like, oh, Darnell wants to join Judah.
Howell 300, Geno Smith 300. I could see this also being one of those games.
Yeah.
I mean, Washington defense is like trash.
You know, this kind of reminds me of. I think this could play a lot like. Let's give it a game comp. Washington Philadelphia games.
Yeah,
Like I think if we
see
want to key on a hey, where does this look like it aligns with? I think that's a very very strong correlation from a game script projection. So we go over 300 both. I'm gonna pump Howell a little bit more.
Ooh.
Maybe 330. Receiving. Yeah, and I honestly like I have nothing to go off of with this, but like this smells like a DK Metcalf blow up game. A lot of people keep talking about Jackson Smith. Metcalf's been a little bit quiet this year, and again, I think some of it's because of his injuries and whatnot. But he did have that one pass play last week for 50 yards. Like versus Washington, is he going to get two of those? Metcalf.
Oh,
DK Metcalf.
Well, because it's like DK Metcalf 100 yards is plus 280. Jackson Smith and Jigba is 100 yards is plus 880.
Yeah, I mean, for Metcalf to be worth it, you'd have to bump it up to his like over 129 or something. So you'd obviously have to get a little more yardage. But again, if last week, if he's getting that, you know, he got that catch. I'm trying to look him up right now. The fuck? Yeah, so he had one catch last week. Oh, that sucks. Oh, everyone's sad. But it was a 50-yarder. I mean, like, is there a possibility that
How many targets? How many targets?
He only had 4, but the week before that he had 14. So again, you're talking about like, you know, if we land somewhere in between the middle of the last 2 weeks even, and before that he had 9, so 9, 14, 4. But that was a tough spot last week. I mean, you know, now they're coming back home. And he's had a 112-yard game before this season.
What's his best? What's his best today? This season, it's 112.
112. So I mean, again, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, I mean, it's paying you 6-1, so.
Well, that's at 100. That's at 100. I'm saying if you push it a little bit, is it? Because again, if he can get a couple big catches and get 7 targets, 8 targets, actually probably closer to 9 based on what I'm seeing. So. Again, versus Washington's secondary. I mean, is he not AJ Brown light? You know, like diet AJ Brown. Here's from a type of QB. Here, let me remind myself what AJ was doing against the Commanders. I think he was destroying them both games, and that's 2 games. So it's like they couldn't stop him either time. Yeah. So all right, real quick. So AJ Brown versus Washington both times. We're talking 9 receptions, 175 yards. 8 receptions, 130 yards. Obviously, it's not the same offense. It's not the same teams and all that. But, I mean, just from kind of like size, physicality, 6'1", 226 receiver with some speed. Metcalf's not as fast, I don't think, but 6'4", 235. I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna have to do a Metcalf stack. I can't do 139. I think I might do the 129. 129 for Metcalf's plus 1,000. It's not terrible.
So this is 500 to 1. Is basically it's Howell 325, Smith 325, Metcalf 100.
Ooh, I like that.
Well, I'm not done.
Oh, sorry. Got
excited. Two more.
Oh, 2 more. Jesus fuck.
Commies minus 5.5.
Oh, okay.
And then Tyler Lockett touchdown.
No, get the touch. You can't have the touchdown because like a lot.
Tyler Lockett.
everything else lines up, but then it honestly is just a random leg.
Yeah, well, that's why it
high
goes to
scoring, so
huge.
maybe more touchdowns, but
It goes from 171. It goes from 170 to 1, which is certainly good enough.
No, because
But out to 500 to 1.
No,
So
I think it's a solid build, but the leverage leg is just random. It's like throwing in like there's going to be.
I don't think it's random. I don't think it's random.
I don't know. Let me think about it.
With a JSN touchdown.
The new Metcalf is
No,
going
see,
over
like,
100 yards.
The same.
The new
It's
kid?
the same. It's the same. Because basically,
Yeah,
if I add Terry McLaurin touchdown, to that 500 to 1 build, it does nothing. It does nothing.
Oh, that's weird.
It makes it go down.
Huh. Yeah, that's fucked. All right,
So,
well, let me think about it. I'll be right back.
The Tyler Lockett touchdown, if you swap it with a J touchdown, it's basically the same. Actually, so let's see. What if I swap it with Kenneth Walker touchdown?
That's more believable. But play with it. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a drink.
That's like 350 to 1. So basically, after Kenneth Walker, if it's not Kenneth Walker, if I add anybody else besides Metcalf, since it's like tied to his 100 yards, Jason off injury report. I can still see like Lockett sneaking one of those touchdowns. Doesn't have necessarily a great yardage day, but he's that red zone target. I'm gonna do this. It's obviously ridiculous, but it's Commanders minus 5.5, Howell 325, Smith 325, Metcalf 100 with the Tyler Lockett touchdown. 500 to 1. Well, we did a build last week with Charbonnet having a breakout. Okay, let's. Man, like I wish I didn't have to like keep rebuilding everything in FanDuel. That I could like make the bet, and then it stays in the ticket, and then I can just modify it. Darnell likes Charbonnet. Remember we built one with a little bit of a breakout with him last week.
Sorry, I'm back. What's up?
Charbonnet. Is that how you say his name? Charbonnet?
Charbonnet, but he's just not getting any. He's not getting any usage. He's literally just playing backup role at this point. Let me double check.
Yeah, but he's saying Darnell thinks this is going to be his breakout game.
But based on what? To give us the juice, Darnell. What are we thinking?
Well, I mean, Washington also is like very bad run defense.
Well, they're bad at everything.
So maybe you just get volume.
Hmm.
What do you mean injured? So he's just like he's gonna play, but he's just injured.
Oh, how injured though? I mean, because the last 2 games, Charbonnet had 5 and 4 attempts rushing, so he's not getting any usage right now.
Yeah,
but he did play 59 and 55% snaps, which is the biggest of the season the last 2 weeks. Behind game scripts, so.
What's the most Charbonnet's gone for? Is it like 55?
Yeah, I think he had one big run 2 weeks ago. But again, he's not getting the attempts, so he's had 53. I mean, if we know he's kind of like the Breece Hall breakout game, if we know like there's no cap on Breece Hall this week, like fuck Dalvin Cook, then yeah, that makes sense. But
yeah,
I don't know. I just don't know what kind of carries he's actually going to get. Okay. Hold on a second.
Charbonnet 80 yards is plus 880.
Maybe. I mean, if Walker's actually hurt or something, then, or we've heard Pete Carroll kind of talk about specifically actually this.
I wonder why Bet Online is not working for me.
Because I don't know.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Finally. Let's see. Let's see what Charbonnet looks like on Bet Online. Oh, way better.
Wait, Charbonnet for rushing?
Yards, 66 yards plus 1,500.
Oh, that's different. Wait, what are you? I said 1,400. 66? You're what?
66 yards plus 1,500.
Oh, yeah, about 15. Okay. That seems reasonable.
Oh, see, this is ridiculous. 76 yards plus 3,000.
Wait, what? Now you're getting me excited. So Darnell, talk to us about Charbonnet a little more. This is if we actually have a
I'm
key
just gonna hit the
insight.
Charbonnet over 76 yards, like just.
I think you have to.
standalone.
I think you have to parlay it with something. I think you can probably parlay it with his carries, maybe.
Your bet was successfully submitted. I got it. Ooh.
Oh, they let you? Nice.
But even this 66, that. I'm gonna build this. And then what if I do Kenneth Walker under? Oh, I can't do under carries.
Yeah, you can. Go to the over/under tab. Oh yeah, let's see what this is. Under 15.5. Oh, see, this might. Oh yeah. Ooh, 6,500. 65 to 1. I like. Now that's a correlation. So all right.
So Charbonnet,
like
66 yards. Kenneth Walker under 15.5 carries is 3,100.
Nice. Well, if you do the max, 76 yards, you get 6,500. Kenneth Walker injury. I just want to see if there's any information.
I think I'm gonna do both these. So Charbonnet over 66 and Kenneth Walker under 15.5 plus 3,100.
So Tyler Lockett, Kenneth Walker, and Jackson Smith Ninjaba, I can't say his name, are all three dealing with injury issues this week. So that's another reason I like Metcalf. Oh, I'm just gonna do it just to degen real quick. Let's put Metcalf in this and see how it feels.
He says Pete has been practically sucking Charbonnet off in press conferences.
I know he's been talking about, oh man, dude, a Charbonnet Metcalf blowout. Oof, 280 to 1. That's what I like to see, baby.
Ooh, and just those two legs?
Well, and Kenneth Walker unders, like under carries.
Gotcha.
But if you add a little Metcalf.
So 3 leg.
Yeah, 3 leg. But I mean, again, I think the Charbonnet over 76 is like highly, based on what I've been seeing with Kenneth Walker's usage throughout the season, highly going to be correlated. Yeah. Because the game I had him over, like he had like 13 carries in the first half, and all of a sudden, like they stopped getting the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So like it just got to be.
Yeah, this is why.
Let me see.
Yeah, so I know. First of all, I just really just like the Kenneth Walker under 15.5 Charbonnet. I already did the 66, and now I'm going to do the 76, and this is at 6,500. So it's basically like 65 to 1, just Charbonnet plays more than Walker in this one game. Dude could get more hurt. You're playing versus a bad rush defense.
I mean, that is true. I mean, and that's why you actually like these longer shots, is because if Walker gets dinged up again, or a new injury, so there's variance to that. I'm trying to see if there's any updated insights
that's really good.
On.
Antiguans.
Ooh, and it's interesting. It looks like it's a groin injury. which again is definitely
It looks
aggravatable.
like you're looking.
I know I'm not looking at his groin. I'm sure it's very nice.
Looks very injured.
It looks very red.
Looks very swollen.
Wait, Zach, that's not his groin. Oh, I was looking at the wrong thing. All right, so we're gonna move on. Kenneth Walker. Oh, let's go to our special doc.
I mean, this is
Oh
just
no,
like
I don't.
one
Hold on, I'm seeing chest injury. That might have been an old search. No downgrade. Yeah, just did not practice Wednesday with a chest injury is all I'm seeing. I mean chest, but he's definitely gonna get hit in the chest some more. He also had a calf injury last week. At risk for re-aggravation as of late October. Let's see. What did he do? I know they got behind, so it doesn't really matter. But how did Walker perform the last 2 weeks with his little injury?
I'm gonna do some.
Yeah,
of those
dude, that's interesting. You know, the last 2 weeks. Granted, game script has a lot to do with it, but he had 8 and 9 carries.
Charbonnet?
No, your boy Kenneth Walker. So and those are game scripts where they were behind. What about a game script where they're ahead? Is it a little more favoring Mr. Charbonnet? It sounds like Chardonnay. It sounds like we need to drink wine.
Well, I have to remind you what Darnell said.
I've learned the hard way. Don't fade Darnell. So I'm gonna place a bet. I'm just trying to figure out how much I should place on it by how much conviction we should have in it. That's what I'm really figuring out.
Yeah, CJ Stroud props are like super not attractive on.
Yeah. Well, dude, I'm telling you, BetOnline is completely nuked passing props the last since I think week 8. Like most of them you could find like great value for like going over 300, 320 type stuff. Now it's like it caps it at plus 280. It's like, what the fuck? I don't really understand why, but must be getting hammered.
Yeah, because CJ Stroud 325 is plus 270.
What?
And it's plus 520 on FanDuel.
Oh, those fucks, man. It's so funny how bad or good some of these lines are on these things.
Yeah, depends.
It's just like it's all.
I guess
it's
this
just
is the whole thing they talk about line shopping.
Yeah. it couldn't
Never
be
heard of
more
that?
relevant. Yeah. It's like, oh, I got minus 110 instead of minus 115. You're a loser. It's like, bitch, I got minus 10. I got plus 10,000 instead of plus 2,000. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, these are much big differences. Although I guess when you think about it from the percentage perspective, actually, like minus 110 to minus 115 actually is bigger.
Yeah, you're probably right. But it sounds sexier to say I got plus 8,000 more.
You are meaningfully changing the payout. The payout is sharply different. Yes.
Risk, probably not so much.
All right, what are we?
God, this thing blows up. What else could I add to this to really?
Yeah, their passing yards. Yeah, their passing yards suck. It's very bad. Very bad.
Oh, touchdown. Wait, hold on a second. Did we do a Charbonnet touchdown? I mean, it's plus. Hold on a second, dude. Wait a second. Hold on to the dick. This is gonna get good because again, the what I love about these alt scenarios is they don't price it all in together. When these these random events that they are not.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, that's pretty good. This is all basically to me very correlated. So you got plus 9,700 for Charbonnet over 76 rush yards.
Okay, but it is cheating you. It is cheating you because it should 2x it. It should 2x it. It should make it to 12,000.
Wait, why?
So
are you saying based on the
200.
raw? Yeah, I understand. Oh no, I get that. But what I'm saying is they're not pricing in. Well, they're pricing in a correlation to a degree.
Yes.
Like that's why you're not getting the 1200. But what I'm saying is it's not really plus 200 because if you're baking in, he's going to get 76 rush yards. You're baking in, he's going to get 12, 14 carries, probably a goal line. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a little more.
To your point though, when you add the touchdown in, it gets.
Yeah, I know. But I would say this plus 190. What would you price it if Charbonnet actually goes over 76 rush yards? Like plus 120.
He's going to get a touchdown.
Yeah, like plus 120. I would say. Like a little less than even.
No, if you told me carries.
Well, but if he's getting 76 yards, he's getting at least 10 to 12 carries. Very likely. Or an explosive run that probably ends up getting in the end zone.
I think in pretty much all the games where he's had decent yards, he's had an explosive run, right?
Yeah. I'm just saying. Like,
I don't like the touchdown.
But if you're doing Walker under carries, right? That's kind of a bet on Charbonnet over carries and his 76 rush yards. I mean, I'm just asking, like, what would you put his touchdown at?
Dude, what about
what?
Like literally instead of his touchdown? And again, this is not correlated. This is not even related.
Taylor Swift sucks at no.
But it is, I guess, somewhat inversely correlated. But it's Washington plus 6, and it puts it to 250 to 1.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, yeah, that's totally
dude. So, no, that's Charbonnet 76 yards. Washington plus 6. It's 2 legs. 25 to win $6,000.
That's interesting. Let me add that. Yeah, I mean, hey, again, I don't have as much conviction as you guys about Charbonnet, so it's definitely to me a lottery ticket.
Yes. Anything that's 250 to 1 is appropriately called a lottery ticket.
I got your 450 to 1.
Okay, what is it?
Everything I've been talking about. Charbonnet, and then add Washington plus 6. That's
You're saying
pretty good.
With the touchdown?
With that touchdown. I think that's strongly correlated, better than the plus 190. Again,
Imagine if I add this touchdown.
Well, do both.
No, it does nothing to me. It does nothing.
Really?
It makes it worse. It makes it worse.
Let me take it out and see. Does it? No, dude. It gave me it doubles it for me. What are you talking about? But do you have Kenneth Walker under 15.5 carries?
No.
Yeah, add that. That's the key.
Dude, I'm fine with just the 25 to win $6,000.
I'm fine with the 240 to win. Dude, I took the touchdown out. Oh, dude, this is it. That's it. Dude, we're geniuses. Charbonnet's definitely not hitting us, but if he did, dude, Washington plus 6, Charbonnet over, and Kenneth Walker under carries. That they're so correlated, dude. I'm telling you. If he's gonna go over 76 rush yards,
it didn't let me place it.
Oh, are you over your allocation? Yeah, they try to fuck you.
Limit exceeded. Please try adding a different selection. So that means I can't bet any amount of money on it.
They've capped you on a leg. You cannot bet one. Probably like Charbonnet, you can't bet him anymore.
Refresh. Let's refresh.
No, they're not, they fucked you. So I'll have to take advantage. Let's see. I like this one though. I'm limited to $41. This is interesting, dude.
Dude, this week's Jalen Hall is this week is Charbonnet.
I like this having one a week. I mean, that plus Washington plus 6. God, that's gonna hurt so bad if it happens and then you fuck it with a blowout.
No, because I already have like other exposure to the same thing.
True. That's why they capped you. I don't have any exposure. I'll just do a little bit. I won't go crazy. Do $5. Just to get exposure to feel something. The fuckers, I gotta reload. I gotta reload.
All right, here we go. Zach Charbonnet.
They're not gonna let you. Okay. Can you not do it on FanDuel? What does FanDuel do?
It's not even close. His prices are not even close to this.
Oh, I see. What time is it? 10:30? Okay, we still got some time to really fuck with this. All right, let me fuck this again. We might not be able to do it. I'll be able to do it. Rushing. Charbonnet.
Washington money line, it's 550 to 1.
Woo! No, I'll take the +6. I mean,
Limit exceeded. Please try adding a different selection. So you're basically saying I'm done with Charbonnet. They won't give me any more.
Yeah,
Chardonnay.
you've had enough Chardonnay. They've cut you off. No more Chardonnay.
This guy knows too much about Chardonnay.
What does he know about Chardonnay that we don't know?
I mean, he's betting $25 at a clip.
He's trying to make 10K off of our Chardonnay. That bastard. Cut him off. Make him take an Uber.
All right, so see if you can do it. Can you do it?
Yeah, hold on one sec. I'm trying to go under.
I think it's fair to say these Charbonnet props are definitely mispriced, though.
Oh yeah, again, there's tons of mispricings. But you still have to have like an edge that he's actually gonna fucking get the ball.
All right, so what could be our next Charbonnet?
How many Chardonnays can we have in a week?
What can be our next Charbonnet?
Yeah, I think
who
this
else
is good.
is kind of lingering out there?
I think this is great, dude. I took the touchdown away.
Oh.
And it's a 3-legger. Washington +6. Charbonnet's max over, and Kenneth Walker under carries, which is correlated. So getting 242 to 1. That's pretty good. I think that's pretty fucking solid. Leverage bet, $10 to win 2,500. I'll do it.
Yeah, no, I like it.
Fuck it.
Okay,
fuck
what
it.
about, so Darnell said Hawkinson.
I love me a good Hawkinson.
But no, what I was thinking was, I know, so David Montgomery's coming back.
Ooh.
But what if they do keep feeding Gibbs?
Sure. Gibbies.
Uh,
keep giving it to Giblets.
Gibbs is +500 for 98 yards. What's he on FanDuel?
Giblets and bits. Gibbles and bits. Let's see. Wait, so you wanna look at a Gibbs over? I mean, they've nuked him a little bit. I mean, not a lot, but like they capped him at 98 yards. What the fuck? What the hell's the matter with this shit? I don't know, but Dan Campbell really likes Montgomery, dude. Like, loves him.
Is he like 100% healthy now?
That's a good question. I don't know. He could be on an Aaron Jones type count, but I don't know what was his injury. Aaron Jones. The thing with I think running backs and receivers.
Oh yeah,
is
bet online is definitely mispriced. Jahmyr Gibbs is 100 yards +880 on FanDuel, so that's good.
Yeah, they fucked you there. This is a game like. Again, I've been. The reason I like the Ravens against the Lions is because I thought the Lions defense was a little bit overrated, especially in the secondary. And that kind of played out. So what I'm wondering is this a game where Justin Herbert and Jared Goff just fucking light it up? Because Chargers have played fairly well against the run too. So, I mean, this and Judah agreed. Like, I think this is a game of highest probability that we get just like a shootout 31-34 type game.
Yeah, but I mean, see, like, I don't know if I agree with that. And then also, these are like pretty aggressively priced.
Yeah, they are. That's why you'd have to stack it in a way that basically leans into that game script. Like, it's gonna be
but I don't even. I still don't know if I like trust Detroit. Like, I feel like Detroit still plays a lower powered version of themselves on the road
last year,
even if it's not on grass, and even if they have fans in the stadium.
Yeah. God, they're fucking terrible.
And the Chargers offense just like, I think the Chargers defense is a little bit underrated.
Yeah, that's true.
And the Chargers offense is, I don't know, not explosive.
Laporta, don't make me say it.
These are like well-known guys. I'm talking about like a Charbonnet.
Yeah, no, I know. Trust me, I know. But at the same time, if you really pump up, you still have to key on one fucking shitty player though. Shit. La Porta Party. Yeah, you can't. I mean, it's terrible. Fucking, you can't even get there. Okay, maybe not. All right, a game that I like. I want to get Judah's take, but we didn't have time. Is so I kind of want to key on this Vikings Saints game a little bit. I think there's some potential there to get creative.
How so?
So first
I
off,
I don't love this game either.
Hold on. Dobbs rushing. He's gonna run it. I mean,
I like that.
That was his best asset. I mean, again, he doesn't know the playbook. Like he can only
Are you saying
look at
Dobbs
a
100 yards plus 2,000?
Well, and it's also it's also very predictable, right? If his first read isn't there, if he's getting quick pressure, right, he's gonna run because he doesn't even know what to do. Like he's learning the playbook. It's fucking fast. Like shit's crazy.
That's true.
So what is he gonna be doing when he's throwing? He's gonna be keying on his first read. Well, what do the Vikings like to call plays to? Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, running backs to the backfield, like some version of that, or he's gonna be running it. So, dude, 90 yards rushing, 2,000 plus 2,000. Can he get there? I don't know.
How much did he have last week?
I'm gonna look him up right now. He had 60.
He had 60.
He had 66. In every game this season, he's only had 2 duds, and besides the 2 duds, he's had 41, 55, 48, 47, 43, 26, 66. He runs. I mean, he's not afraid to take off. And also, Bagnet, what's his name? Bagnet for the Bears, had like 73 yards rushing against the Saints, and even Trevor Lawrence had like 60 yards rushing against the Saints. So this is not a Saints team that's keying on quarterbacks rushing. So
90 seems aggressive.
It is. So maybe we don't do 90, but
like 90 seems like it should be like 50 to 1, 30 to 1.
And also, all right, and I got another key to this game. You ready? So Alexander Madison was actually running much better once they got Cam Akers and they split the load. Cam Akers is done for the season. Now we're back to Addison probably being the main feature back, where he just struggles to be a feature back. So they're not going to let's say they're not against the Saints defense that can key on the run. I don't think they're going to have success running it. So, I mean, really, it's back to Dobbs. Throw it to his first options or running or him scrambling, trying to get first downs and shit. So, so I like Dobbs' rushing angle.
Like at what number?
Man, I don't know.
60 plus 350.
I mean, he's gotten over
plus 350 sounds pretty reasonable, actually, given the.
But I mean, reasonable, or can we get him to get one long run? That's the question.
Well, we can, but I don't think it's being priced properly for that.
That's why I'm almost like just get 90. Because all right, for instance, like this is where the mispricing seems a little off to me. Like if he's going over 80, he's got a good chance he's gonna hit 90. Because if he's gonna hit 80, it means he's had a big explosive run. Like we're talking like one of those.
I think it's either
45
you're going
yarders.
60 or you're going 90.
Yeah.
And the 70 and 80s are not worth it.
Yeah, exactly.
Either he's going to hit the ceiling of his season to date kind of range, which is 60, or he's going to make a new high given all the kind of setup that you talked about. They're now saying Dubs rushing, Hawkinson receptions over, Olave receptions over, Rashid 75, Carr 260.
Is he putting all that in a bet? Holy shit. I mean, Carr has done pretty well. I think he's thrown over 300 yards 2 games in a row, too.
Yeah, what is Shahid's? So let's see here.
Yeah, let's see. I might just build a big
stack. 105 is 765. It's not terrible, but it's not 1,500 like it was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. They nuke it. Once it explodes, they nuke. You'd be better off going for an Olave explosive day. 130
But
yards.
I do like Darnell's angle on Hawkinson actually as well. When you have like again a new quarterback trying to target the big body.
Yep.
As like your safety blanket. He already likes it, Brian.
Yeah. Well, and he is the safety blanket. Like he's like in their offense. He's the guy.
Yeah.
That's why the whole joke with Kirk Cousins.
Defense, so.
What's that?
Like that's why I don't like love Vikings anything.
Saints defense? Yeah. That's why I like the rushing. I mean, if you do Hawkinson, I would just do probably his receptions.
That could be good, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little pump though. It's 6 receptions plus 106. Maybe it may not matter. He's going to be keyed on.
So yeah, so let's do 8 catches for 227.
I mean, he's literally had 6. The last 4 games, Hawks had 6, 11, 6, 7 catches. So it's about as reliable as you're going to get with a shit ton of targets. And maybe his yards are better. He's getting 50, 86, 88, 69. Huh. Hawk 50, 60.
This one's pretty juicy. This is 400 to 1.
Oh, what'd you get?
This is not bad. This is
What is
only
it?
5 legs. It's a 5-leg 400 to 1.
What's the 5 legs though? Charbonnet was really good from a
Oh
specific
shit!
angle.
Wait,
What'd you do?
Olave? Oh, okay. I think it'll be the same, even if I think we can add anything here, and it's gonna be like, oh, it takes it a little bit lower.
Hold on a second. I have an angle on the game. What game are you still keying on? The Saints game?
Yes.
Okay, because I think I have an angle on this.
So hang on. This is the bet though. Oh shit. Yeah, Olave.
Yeah.
Olave is the one who like really busts this out for some reason. Okay, so it's Dobbs 60 yards rushing.
Yep, I like that.
Rashid Shaheed 105. So yeah, it's got to be one of those games.
Yeah.
Hawkinson 8 catches.
Okay, a little high, but okay.
And then here's the last bit. There's just one thing left
What?
for 400 to 1.
Oh God.
Olave touchdown.
Interesting. He does key on Olave in the red zone, and like in general, like Derek Carr trusts Olave, I think, more than any of the receivers.
I mean, even if you take off Olave, I mean, it puts it down way, but it's still 12,000. It's still 130 to 1.
Yeah, I
It's
like
Dobbs
that
60 rushing, Shaheed 105. This is a 3-leg parlay.
I like
Dobbs
it.
60, Shaheed 105, Hawkinson 8 catches.
You know, you should maybe add and see if it sticks is a Josh Dobbs touchdown. Rushing. No, rushing. It's plus 400.
Oh yeah, that's pretty. No.
Doesn't do anything.
I mean, it does. It 3x's it, but I mean, it's basically just as much as anything else.
Oh, I see.
It's not.
I have another angle. So, all right. So last week he had his most yards catching out of the backfield, and he's had other games like this. Madison, okay. So Cam Akers is out. Madison's gonna get an uptick, so they're gonna key on some screens and probably dump offs. So if he breaks one, his number is like over 44 yards is 359, 54, 755. He had 49 on 2 catches last week because he broke one. Madison out of the backfield, I think it's a better, a more interesting angle than Hawkinson, just because you're getting the better price. I mean, we're getting over 54 yards plus. So Madison receiving.
No, I don't like that.
Yes.
versus Hawkinson 8 catches.
No. Well, Hawkinson, it's like plus 180 or plus 120 or something. This is plus 750. It's miles difference. Because again, look at the situation. Dobbs is quarterback, right?
Yeah,
he can throw it to his
dump offs. Yeah.
Well, so they're gonna do screens, and he's gonna do dump offs.
And how many yards are you targeting?
Well, 54 is probably the highest I'd go, but that's plus 755. It's huge. Yeah. I mean, last week he had 49 on 2 catches. I'm banking that he's probably gonna get 3 or 4 more 2 or 3 more catches. So if we can get him to 4 or 5 catches, I mean that's within play just from those catches. If he breaks one, then it could go way over that. Shit, maybe we should fucking do this 70. Dude, holy shit! Yeah. 74 yards is 3,000.
This is crazy. This is 1,200 to 1.
Hold on, I'm gonna bump it.
It's $25 to win 32 grand.
Woo! Dude, I got a better one.
No, but that's with Hawkinson 8 catches, by the way.
Oh, see, I have a 3-legger for 400 to 1.
I'm talking about 1,200.
What, 1,200 to 1?
1,200 to 1. It'll only let me
put
$5.
Oh yeah, how'd you get? Oh, that's with Hawkinson.
Yeah,
is that why?
So it's a 4. All I did, it's a 4-leg. I mean, we're not really making. Again, these aren't correlated, but they are game script. We are talking about the game script. Yeah. But these are not correlated. But that's the only way you can get something to be 1,200 to 1.
Dude, this is so egregiously priced. This is insane to me. You're getting 400 to 1 for Josh Dobbs over 60 rush yards, 1 touchdown from rushing, and Alexander Madison over 74 receiving yards, which he had 50 last week. So this isn't out of the ballpark. That's one more catch that, in a screen pass that gets 25 yards. So, yeah. Or just a dump off game script late. Like, we're behind.
Dude, fucking Josh Dobbs touchdown just literally moved to 350 on the screen.
God damn, these fuckers. They're king on us. Did it really? It's going to make me nuke it. I'm going to have to redo it. God damn. Max bet, $24, 10,000.
This is not bad though. The Dobbs 60 yards, Hawkinson 8 catches, Madison 54 receiving, and the Dobbs 1 touchdown.
Yeah, let me take Madison
360 to 1.
Yeah, let me take it down a little bit. Let me not be greedy. Something that, yeah. I mean, this is 100 to 1. But man, that for 25 more yards, you're getting 400 to 1. Oh, God, that feels so good.
I like this. Again, the thing is what we're doing here is we're betting still against a good defense. That's what I don't like about it.
I mean, are they good or are they like somewhat average? I mean, EDP likes them, right?
Yeah.
But no. We're not betting against. Look at this is the bet. You ready? Josh Dobbs rushing. What, dude? He could be fucking scrambling all game like he was versus Arizona. Not a good team. Right. Like that's. Right. And he gets 1 touchdown. That's the bet. And then Madison dump off out of the backfield. This is like Saints could fucking win 35-7. You fucking cash this bet. It's not. It can go either way. It can be. I
do like that. Yeah.
You got outs. It's a beautiful bet. Because again, that's the beautiful thing with like these prop correlations is we have a lot of outs. Whereas like if we're like, oh, Vikings have to win, that's another leg of risk. This is interesting. All right, I'm gonna play this one. 5 to win 500. Then I'm gonna amp it up. Let's see if it lets me. I'm gonna have to reload. All the books are like, our SGP action has gone way up late on Saturday nights. We don't understand why.
Let's do. What about Josh Dobbs 2 touchdowns?
Actually, I'm not gonna be greedy. I'm gonna take Madison out.
Nah, not worth it.
God, it nukes it. God, that Madison over really pumps the price, baby.
Dude, I really like the Hawkinson catches too.
Yeah, I like that too. I mean, that's probably safer.
He's had 10 catch days.
Oh, you know, it could be. Hold on, I'm gonna try a different angle on this. You ready? Let me see if I can get it. Hold on, and then I'll tell you. Passing.
Yeah, I mean, this is 100-1. It's the Dobbs 50 yards rushing,
Ooh.
Madison 44 receiving, Hawkinson 10 catches, 100-1.
I think I might have to do that. Need to capture that variance a little better.
Something in here, they don't like me anymore.
Oh, they nuked you?
Yeah, let me try on FanDuel.
Receiving.
Anybody in the chat got any ideas? We have eight people in here. It's pretty
Talk
good.
to us. Talk to us,
Yeah.
baby. Let's give us an angle. Let's fuck it around with us. See what happens. All right, you got Reggie, TJ.
Yeah, somebody pitch us something ridiculous. We'll bet it, and then if it wins, we'll give you like $100.
Yeah.
No, if it wins, like, I mean, it depends what it is.
Depends, yeah. How good is it?
If it's like $5 to win like 12 grand, like I'll easily give you $3 grand.
That's a pretty fucking good deal. No risk. Just right.
Just gotta put something together.
This isn't that high. How'd you get it so high? Because I'm gone. Wait, you had Dobbs, Madison, and Hawkinson?
Yeah.
You did the Hawkinson 8 receptions. I was trying to see if I could lower it, but no. All right, so plus 4,900. That's what I got. Is that what you got?
For what's your targets?
Dobbs over 50, Madison over 44, Hawkinson over. Oh shit! I got receiving yards. Hold on, sorry. Let me switch it.
Over 8 receiving yards. Yeah,
it was 80. No. Shit, where'd it go? How do I get the fuck? What the actual dick?
Yeah, they don't even have Dobbs rushing yards on FanDuel.
What?
That's how scared they are.
You just never know what you're gonna get with these fuckers. Like, why? I would check in the morning though. They might end up putting it back.
Dude, there's no morning. Like, I sleep.
Oh, okay. I'm saying like 10 minutes before game time.
Yeah. It's like 1 minute before game time.
Yeah, I like this. Okay. God, that's a lot of receptions. But yeah, I mean, Hawkinson's that guy, so let's just do it. Let's roll it.
But first of all, can you tell me how many receptions he's had the last?
Yeah, he's had, I mean, it's a shit ton. It's been.
Yeah.
And he gets targeted like 12, 13 times a game. He's had 6, 11, 6, 7. But he had 12 targets last game.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah.
And again, the good thing with playing the Saints is the Saints are good enough that this game is very likely going to be competitive. Like, or Vikings get blown out. So it's kind of like Vikings are going to have to keep throwing it. Like they can't run the ball. Like, you know, it's a volume game, so it plays. The game script should play right into that. No problem. Okay. I think that's all the dabbing I can do.
Anything else? Let's do one more.
Let's see. Is there a game we haven't keyed on that we like? Oh, I
We
know.
haven't done any Niners Jack. Okay, on.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. Let's do that.
Okay.
So, all right, I found something interesting. Again, these things aren't really relevant all the time, but from an alt angle perspective, I think they are relevant. That's why I like the Patriots, kind of like, oh, historically, Bill Belichick does well overseas. Is Kyle Shanahan's 2-4 coming off buys. So a perennial good team that makes the playoffs, runs to the Super Bowl, struggles out of a bye, kind of fairly consistency in a Kyle Shanahan regime. So I'm liking a Jags fucking wipe the floor with the 49ers angle. Like a lot
They're
of quick
just
passing.
so sloppy motherfuckers, man.
Yeah, but they're coming off the bye. I mean, they both are.
All right, so build. What's the build?
All right, so Jags win straight up, or I mean, if +3's better,
Might as well
at the
do
end.
alts.
I can't do alts, but if you get FanDuel do alts, I can't on BetOnline. Trevor Lawrence completions, because again, I think it's gonna be a lot more quick passing because the kind of quick pressure that the Niners can get, especially with Chase Young now added to the fold. So maybe we do 28. I'll check his completions through the season to go through this. Christian Kirk kind of game. Maybe do his receptions if we're doing a lot of completions with Mr. Lawrence.
I don't love receptions. Like, I feel like I just don't have a strong angle on
But
it.
again, all I'm doing is if I'm gonna have high completions, then it's got to go to somebody, right? So it's not. I agree with you. I tend to like yards more, but again, it actually depends. It's because it's a volume game. The good thing about receptions or carries is you're just predicting kind of like a volume script, whereas the yards is kind of like maybe yay or nay. Let's just do base. Let's do base Christian Kirk. Let's see. Yeah, not really getting very much.
Has
right
Kirk
now.
and Ridley had 100 yards the same game? But do you know?
I don't think so, to be honest. Or if
Yeah,
if they have, it's been like one.
Usually one or the other.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, but Ridley's his like downfield option. But Christian Kirk has had 11 receptions, 8 receptions this year. Not as much the last couple weeks. It's been more, I think, Ridley. Let's see, Ridley. Calvin Ridley. It picked up last week. Ridley had his third best game last week. Yeah, it's every 3 or 4 weeks Ridley has a good game and then duds in between. Oh, another angle I like in this is a Debo. Debo's back. Jags are one of the worst teams in the NFL, I read, giving up yards after catch because they play a lot of zone. That's what it is. They play the most zone of any defense in the NFL.
Okay.
And thus they give up like a very high yak. And so Debo's coming back this week off the bye. I think a great opportunity where they're trying to get Debo the ball in space, yard after catch, kind of balloons his numbers a little bit. Let's see if Debo, did he go over?
Debo 100 is plus 630.
That's what I'm saying.
What about
Let me see. I'm seeing his early games. He had 129 1 week. That's when he blew up.
That was the only week, though.
Yeah, but he also, I think he got hurt. When did he?
Yeah.
He got hurt. The first 3 weeks he had 5, 6, and 6 receptions. So he had the same receptions, but then 1 week he blew up because he had his yards per catch were up, and that's kind of what we're predicting here, right? Is this kind of like boom in production? Yeah, the 107 over 100 yards based at 107 plus 810. That's pretty solid. I think that's fair. That's interesting. Take this out. I mean, wow, that's interesting. No. Well, that really boosts it. I mean, that's awfully, I don't know, is that? I mean, these aren't really correlated, but this is like an interesting pricing example that doesn't make sense to me. So Christian Kirk, 6 receptions, basically is a little more than his base. Debo Samuel, over 107 receiving yards, and Jacksonville +3, right? Not really correlated on any of these. but it's plus 4,400.
Say it again.
So it's 3-leg parlay, right? Which should be what? Plus 600 on a given parlay? Like, you know, if it's a minus 110 parlay across the board. I mean, obviously it's juiced with Debo, but so you have over 6 receptions for Christian Kirk, Debo at least 107 receiving yards, and then Jacksonville plus 3. And it's plus, it's not, again, it's not correlated, but it's plus 4,400.
Yeah, but again, we built a plus 4,001 last week that was perfectly correlated.
Perfect.
So this is just like random things all tacked on. Like you didn't even build a game, like a story around it.
Yeah, I mean, the story is Debo, but these are
just individual props you like that you're putting together
in the same game. Yes.
Yeah.
Fact.
You're just building a parlay.
But it's a big number for a parlay of 3 legs.
Giggity.
Giggity. Is that what he said?
Yeah.
I don't know what he said. Well, what's a Debo over receiving game script that we can key on? Because that to me is a very interesting angle. Because again, especially with these guys coming back, like if he's gonna play, he's gonna play. It's because he's healthy. And we know they like
he's had 100 yards one time this year.
Yeah, but he's only played like 3 games, I think, fully healthy, or like maybe 4. And again, Jacksonville loves to play zone, so Debo catches it in space. You just need him to fucking break one of those 6 catches for 40-yard touchdown, maybe 50.
So he went for 129 versus the Giants.
Yep. But not on volume. That was what we're talking about, right? This is yard after catch is what we're trying to capture. That's why the 107 to me at plus 810 is a great leg. But I mean, I don't really know what else to correlate it with. Like it's kind of on its own.
Yeah, I don't love it. I'm not feeling anything in this game actually.
Oh, I'm feeling it. Or like, what about like correlating it to like a under total points or something? Like, does it boost over points? Oof, God, it fucking nukes. God. Oh, let's do some Brock Purdy. Pretty dumb.
What about, this is like totally off topic and away from this game, but
off topic?
Mac Jones 300.
God, you and your Mac Jones could not pick a worse quarterback besides Desmond Ridder.
Mac Jones 300, Gardner Minshew 300, Colts money line is 60-1. I guess that's probably pretty bad actually still.
Oof. I mean, if you like it, I guess. I want to, you know what I'm going to do? We should do our one. I don't know if we can because we've already used these players. I was going to call it our DGen bet of the week. Like these angles on these players going over and parlaying them together to max leverage. Not even like they're super high. Like to me, Debo going over 100 yards basically is with it. It's not that. That's not that far fetched. Madison going over his receiving yards a little bit, not that far fetched. 44 yards. Let's do one more. Who do I really like from an alt? Excuse me. Maybe Texans.
Ooh, yeah. So Darnell suggested Gardner over 300, Mondre over 100. Ooh, with a touchdown. If I exclude a touchdown, Colts money line. This is 100-1. 3-legger.
Oh, that's interesting. That could, yeah.
It's just Minshew 300, Stevenson 100, Colts money line.
That's pretty good. That's interesting.
So Minshew threw for over 300 versus Jacksonville and Cleveland.
Yeah, it just sucks that he's without Downs.
No, he said Downs is playing.
What? I just read he was out like earlier today. I guess they changed it.
Judah just said that he's playing right before he left.
Are we sure? I could have sworn I just heard that. I mean, you might be right. I don't know. That's the only reason I didn't love this angle is because of.
Yes, he's expected
Downs.
to play per M. Schefter 1 hour ago.
Oh well, fuck me.
The team could be cautious on how much they uses him.
Yeah, interesting.
Demario Douglas listed questionable.
No, I don't love that.
Yep, Darnell confirms too.
No, I like my boy. I'm gonna go back to the well here.
I guess again why this is pressed so high is because like what's the game script with Minshew throwing for 300 and Stevenson is getting carries.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's basically, playing to the team's strengths, right? Patriots are having success rushing and Colts are having success passing. I don't think that's a bad story to tell. That happens quite often, I think. So
Yeah,
I don't mind it.
100 to 1.
Yeah, I think that's solid.
All right, let's do it. 3-legger.
For a 3-legger, 100 to 1, I think that's pretty good. With some playing to a team's strengths both directions. I don't think that's bad.
And we don't got to worry about any touchdowns or anything like that.
Nope. Oh, who I want to add. I know who I want to add. Kyler Murray, baby. Yeah, a part of me does think we're either going to get a Kyler Murray complete dud or he's going to be all everyone's talking about.
I think it's not going to be
sexy.
It's more short. I don't.
I can see him really. I can see him really struggling. Like, I think the Falcons' defense is a little better than Judah is touting.
And I think Murray's not as good as people think that he is. I mean, basically, anytime he didn't have DeAndre Hopkins, like he did not play well.
My A scenario is he's going to struggle because he hasn't had any time to really new team, new coaching, all that shit. Like, man, yeah, it's not easy. Like, just pick up where you left off. Like, and like, is he gonna have any hesitancy? Like, he's got to get timing back in the pocket. Like, how much time do I have before I take off? Like, there's a lot to process, especially coming off an injury. Whereas Dobbs came into the Vikings, kind of like, oh shit, what do I do? Just like, I'm just gonna play ball, but he's not injured. Like, he wasn't coming off an injury, so he's already got like a confidence, which is what you would need. I don't know if Kyler's going to have that. That's a big guess. So
Darryl says McBride over reception yards.
Ooh,
Atlanta leaves in the field.
I have a prop angle on a game team that could be worth considering because he's also been playing like shit most of the season, and I feel like at some point this is the perfect spot to get him to turn around and be productive. Is Tony Pollard versus the Giants. Because he's been so underperforming all season. Could this be the spot where Dallas, they want to get him right for their playoff run? I'm just going to rely on Dak. Because he's had, let me see.
Darnell likes McBride props.
Yeah. So he's only had one game at Arizona, another bottom feeding team, where Tony Pollard had 122 yards rushing. His usage has gone down from a rushing perspective since then. Not more than 15 carries. But in this type game where they're supposed to dominate, like they did versus the Jets, like they did versus Arizona, he got 25 and 23 carries. And again, no one's talking about him. It's, those type of situations where everyone's, they give up on a player, oh, it didn't work out. Like, the season's over for him. My fantasy team sucks. Like, it's like, shut the fuck up. Like, I mean, maybe, but It's just like
So what are you targeting? What are you targeting?
situational. I'm right now. I'm looking. I'm just talking out loud.
Pollard
But-
130 plus 700. It's definitely priced better on BetOnline than FanDuel. FanDuel
Yeah.
basically has it at 500.
Yeah, so that's I guess better.
Tommy DeVito 53 rushing yards plus 2,000.
Can he run? Do we know? Like if he runs like Jaron Hall, I like that. He'll be running for his life.
I mean, I do like, again, quarterbacks who like don't know what else to do, so they just fucking run. So,
But I mean, think about it. Dobbs, most rush yards last week. Why? Fucking, I don't even know I don't know who are these guys. You don't even know their names.
he had 17 versus Las Vegas, and that was him playing for about 3 quarters.
Yeah.
He had 12 and a half last week. He had 12 versus the Jets.
That's not Dobbs numbers though.
No.
Dobbs gets some meaningful pickups. Like I said, Dobbs' running style in the last game reminded me of Patrick Mahomes' running style, in that he's not Lamar Jackson fast, but he's athletic enough to beat those D linemen, get into space, take off, and get those big third down pickups. So he's able to get that 15-yard chunk, 20-yard chunk, 5-yard chunk. Whereas someone like Tommy DeVito, I don't know. I haven't watched his tape, so I honestly don't know. But yeah, Tony Pollard's numbers are not great. I thought they might be a little shorter. Yeah, I'd probably max go to that 119 at plus 470, but probably 109 I'd do.
Yeah, I mean he doesn't really run with
But
it.
this is, I actually kind of like this though. All right, so this is my DGen 3 stack. Okay, I wouldn't do more than 2 or 3 legs for this, just because obviously the risk is going to go way up. But so 175 to 1, not terrible. Debo over 100. Debo over 107 yards. We have an angle why we think that happens. Alexander Madison over 44 receiving
You're going
yards.
cross game.
Yeah. Of course, dude. I'm not.
Okay.
We're just trying to get leverage here. Because again, you can do it in game, but then you're just stretching. I'd rather get things I actually like.
Okay.
So Madison over 44 receiving yards, and then Tony Pollard over 109 rush yards versus the Giants as a 17-point favorite. Again, if we're keying that, he's going to get those 25 carries he was getting week 2 and 3 versus the Jets and Arizona blowouts. Oh no, Arizona they lost.
You said 109.
109.
109. You did 109.
109 rush yards is plus. It's 175 to 1. That's big. Is that worth $5?
And what if we add in Charbonnet?
I think I've had enough Chardonnay to last me the weekend. That angle is so far out there that I can't justify continuing leveraging into that. At least Tony Pollard, I know has gone over this yardage. I know Madison has gone over this yardage. I know Debo has gone over this yardage. This season has happened, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. It's just are we timing it in the right spots? Which again, I think all 3 have viability based on their specific game scripts. Again, it's a risk. It's not probably going to hit, but maybe we do
Well, yeah. Well, if it's 170 to 1, it's probably not going to hit.
I'm just gonna do it. So if it hits, I can go see and then tout it.
Well, you better bet it.
Yeah, I'm upset on my
I like
bet
when
right
you
now.
outline that Cleveland bet.
Dude, well, it's because I was trying to help you, not looking at my screen, and then I fucking didn't bet it like an idiot.
I literally don't even know how it's possible because you're literally building it.
Well, I think as I was building it, I was trying to see a different leg, and then I just forgot to bet it, and then I was tired and didn't bet it. Where is... Actually, maybe is Dobbs rushing better play than Madison's receiving?
I think so.
I actually don't know because, so to your point, I feel like Dobbs has to have a great, Dobbs kind of has to play well, kind of like he did versus, have the opportunity to take off and run. Whereas Madison could be like, it's fourth quarter, game's over, and you're just dumping it off. It doesn't fucking matter. And you can get over it.
I'm going to put this bet in, but I'm going to do the Pollard 109 like you talked about, Samuel 97, with CJ Stroud 294.
Ooh,
and that's 66-1.
Okay.
So I'm going to do that.
You can do that. I don't mind that.
Oh, expired.
It's a little, so yeah, I had to reshape. I think you're right. Let's take a little risk down. 109. Receiving.
Because I do like Judah's angle with CJ Stroud this.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, let's trust Judah for a leg. It's always a good idea.
Like I'm a little iffy on your Debo. Like this is his first game back. You're saying?
Yeah, there's probably too much risk on. So I'm gonna pivot off. I'm gonna pivot. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, we've had like much stronger. Like I know you have the yak angle you were talking about.
Yeah, but again, there's not an angle to really put it with.
What about so Darnell likes McBride. Atlanta leaves the middle of the field open at the 9th highest rate.
Yeah, I don't mind it. But again, it's the Kyler Murray effect. You just don't know what you're gonna get. So it's hard. It's hard to leverage on other players.
He hasn't played with McBride.
Yeah, so it's just like it's very risky. But then again, I mean, Dobbs didn't play with Hawkinson. He got 9 catches or whatever the fuck. CJ Stroud. I don't know if CJ is high enough. Fuck.
Oh, I know one game actually we haven't talked about that I am gonna build something with right now.
Oh, which one?
Is Bills.
Oh yeah.
Versus one of the worst defenses. I mean, they played a little bit better recently, but is that actual signal? The Bills offense kind of continues to stub their toe with turnovers and things like that, but otherwise, this is an elite offense.
Yes,
that
I agree.
Should be mispriced.
Hopefully. I mean, hopefully it's mispriced.
So let's do Josh Allen 300. Actually, you said pass yards suck on Bet Online. Let's see what.
Yeah, they've nuked it. I think since week 7 or 8 they've nuked it.
Ooh, and because it's a Monday night game, FanDuel's got nothing available.
Oh yeah.
So maybe we
have to wait on that one. Yeah.
I'm just gonna do something real quick on Bet Online, even if it gives me a shitty price. Just like 350 yards, Josh Allen, 3 touchdowns.
Oh
man. Josh Allen.
What was the one I liked? I got Madison.
Man, this give me nothing. Fuck.
Yeah, you're right. The Debo angle is a little bit of a risk. There's added risk.
Oh, man, Buffalo ain't giving me jack shit. I'm doing Josh Allen 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, and Buffalo covers, and it's only giving me 7-1.
It's actually not that bad if you think it's gonna be a blowout, though. Is it 3 passing touchdowns or is it 3 total touchdowns?
It's 3 passing touchdowns.
That's tough, man. Just because he always runs one in.
Yeah.
He loves running one in.
Yeah, so fuck that game.
They're not that good in the red zone. Browns, Ravens. What other leg do I really
All right, I'm just gonna do one more. I'm just gonna max CJ Stroud out. Let's see. 335 at 3. Man, it's so bad. Fuck.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's not even worth maxing it out because they're trying to get you to max it out. That's kind of what it looks like to me. They want you to max it out because they know they're giving you the fucking shittiest deal possible. That's why it's like like QBs. I'm just like, I'll just do his base because is it even fucking worth going over his alt? Not really. Oh, I know who I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be pissed if I don't do him. All right, let me get my Metcalf prop in here. Let me see, 3 leg.
CJ Stroud, 325, 520.
There we go. All right, we're doing Metcalf, baby. Oh, God, now I don't like Madison. Now I want to take Madison out. This is good. I'm
Now you're
shopping
losing
right
all the
now.
confidence. Okay,
But no, I'm
fine.
trying to key on players that we know are good, that have a very good chance of getting their volume, and they can be explosive, right? So it's very simple, like logic. So we talk about like what's your game script. Well, I think there's a game script for how you're building an SGP or a parlay, which is like, what's the correlated angle, even if the legs are not correlated, just to lessen the risk, but boost the payout. So I have two legs I really like from a alt scenario perspective. Tony Pollard over 109 rushing yards, DK Metcalf over 109 receiving yards. We've talked about both these, like why we like these comps and comparables and all this shit. I need one more leg. I don't want to do Madison. I feel like that's again, there's no volume. It's four, he's gonna get 4 catches. Maybe he goes over 44, maybe he doesn't. Like it's not worth it. So I need a volume guy that can be explosive. That's what we want. Anyone got one in the chat? Who's someone want to key on? That's volume and explosive, but a little underpriced. Been struggling a little bit maybe, but in a good spot to kind of have an uptick in volume and out production. Maybe Aaron Jones, but I don't love the matchup. I do like Aaron Jones as an alt to have a big game, but or at least like get the carries maybe.
Oh, Jalen Hyatt. Yeah, but it's Tommy DeVito. So
Yeah, no. But they may have to just say, fuck it, let's just. Oh, dude, he almost. Jalen Hyatt had 2 big pass plays that came up short.
I know.
Last week. I was like, oh shit.
dude, the same thing, dude, with that Hodge guy. It wasn't like he came 5 yards short, like because he didn't get the opportunity. He almost had like a 50-yard touchdown in addition to that.
Fuck. Yeah. That's how they get you.
Darnell, Jalen Hyatt, top 5 in air yards last week.
Makes sense. Maybe I'm gonna trust. Is it a Tank Dell week?
I do think so.
In Judah we trust.
Can the Texans beat the Bengals?
Yes. Again, without T. Higgins and now Jamar Chase banged up. I mean, what happens if Jamar Chase is actually like materially banged up? It's gonna be Tyler Boyd and tight ends.
Ooh. If I do. See if I lower Joe Burrow.
No, I'm going to the DeAndre Hopkins well here, guys. Sorry, I'm gonna be Mr. Obvious.
What about this? What if we say Jamar Chase is hurt?
Yep.
CJ Stroud. So this is a 5-legger. I don't know if you can see the screen, but it's
Yeah, I can see it.
yeah, it's plus 250. It's 250 to 1. CJ Stroud 325, Tank Dell 100, Texans money line, Chase under 86.5 receiving yards, Joe
I
Burrow
see.
300 yards.
Interesting. Well, who's he throwing to then? Who are the other 230 yards going to?
Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon, all the other fucks.
Well, then it might be better to just play them.
No. Because this is reverse correlation, so it's juicing it.
Okay.
And this actually has an angle. It's like, hey, maybe Chase is gimpy.
Yeah, maybe. Chardonnay effect. We have a word for it now. It's called the Chardonnay effect. When you get so wasted on Chardonnay, you can't walk straight.
Also, there's Chase at under 7.5 catches. So if I wanted to play that theme, I might as well just play it all the way.
Yeah, actually, you should do under catches over the yards because he could have one big catch if he's playing, and then fuck you. The volume angle is better because if you know, that's a snap count thing.
Okay, I like this. This is 200 to 1. It's the Stroud 325, Tankdale 100, Houston money line, Burrow 300, Chase under 7.5.
That's interesting. Yeah, I dig it. I dig that angle. So I'm not going to bet it. So you bet it. So it wins. Because that's how we. If we both bet it, then we know it's too good to be true.
And actually, I'm going to lower it to Stroud 300 yards because it knocks it down about $900. It's still pretty good.
There we go. Now I got my 100 to 1. Okay, that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Let's not be greedy. We'll do. Oh, shit, are you gonna let me do it? Or are you gonna bust me?
Yeah, let's do. Did you do anything with Hyatt? Did you check Hyatt?
No,
I bet
I'm not.
That line is like all fucked up with Hyatt.
I'm not interested in a Hyatt with this quarterback.
Exactly. That's why he's gonna probably be like.
I don't think he's gonna be anything. I think.
What if it again? Like it's just a bunch of like
garbage time. Yeah, I mean, so if you're playing maybe that's where you leverage Tony Pollard in too.
Dude, Jalen Hyatt 86 yards plus 2,300.
They can't. I mean, yeah. This
all right. See.
I mean, that's not. I get your angle. I see where it's coming from. Like, let's say they up his usage. He gets one catch early that gets him 30, 40, 50 yards, and then in garbage time because they're down fucking a shit ton. He gets another couple opportunities, and he's hit 89 yards before on 2 catches. He's hit 75 yards again for 2 catches. So. And, I mean, his usage last week was 59%. So, there's a world they want to get him involved. I just don't know if they think this kid can throw it to him, like down the field.
All right. So here's the 3-legger. This is 150 to 1. 3 legs.
Yeah.
Tommy DeVito, 240 passing yards. 86 yards to Hyatt, and Tony Pollard 100 rushing yards.
Yeah, I dig that angle now. I see where you're going with it.
You're basically saying 150 to 1. Can Tommy DeVito have just like a decently respectable game in garbage time, and he focuses on Hyatt, who had top 5 in air yards last week.
Yeah, and again, all you really need is Hyatt to catch one of those deep passes.
Yeah.
Like have one pass where he catches a 55-yard bomb, and then another, like 2 catches.
Yeah,
down the field.
What if I add Dallas money lines? Do anything?
I mean, you could. I mean, yeah.
I can squeeze a little bit extra out with Dallas money line too.
What about Dallas covering?
Oh, that's gonna. Let's see.
Dallas shellacking.
Yeah, it like doubles it.
Huh.
But I don't like that's just plain the spread. Like I could add it like way more.
Yeah, I agree. Ugh, excuse me.
Ooh, okay. See, the exact same. I can double it if I do Giants over 9.5 points.
Their points are that low? Woo! Woo! Just garbage time points. I feel like that could go over. That could be an angle unto itself. That a leg.
Actually, yeah. So okay. So this is now. Actually, what if I? Do you think the Pollard 100 yards is like really that correlated to it?
No, I mean it's not correlated. It's just a one-off. But I mean it's a volume thing, right? He's only gone over 100. I think once. That's when he had 20 carries or so.
Yeah, the Pollard is a key factor there.
Yeah. But again, this just screams a game script where Pollard's going to be just hammering it the whole second half. And even if it's a closer game than people think, like still might get those carries or have some explosive.
What about this is Rico Dowdle? I literally don't even know who it is. Is it the backup running back for the Cowboys?
Yeah. He's the.
Because what if this is such a blowout that he gets some rushes?
That's a good angle. That's my NBA SGP angle that I was flirting with, trying to understand and because the guy posted that ticket of Pritchard going off because there was a blowout, so he got to play the full second half. So like, yeah, of course his stats fucking went off the roof because he's the point guard in garbage time, basically, like playing 15 more minutes than he should have.
Yeah.
So
although he's not priced that attractively, actually, because basically he's Rico Dowdle 45 yards is basically the same as Pollard 99 yards.
I see. Yeah, and just because a team's up doesn't mean they're just gonna like fully bench their starting running back. Like we've seen that with Christian McCaffrey, even when he was banged up, they like just kept playing him. Yeah, no, that's not worth it. Yeah, I'm gonna skip that one. Not loving it. Oh, all right, we have to wrap it up here soon.
But so this is what I'm gonna wrap on this one. I'm doing the DeVito 239, high at 86, Giants over 9.5 points, Cowboys to win just straight up. And the only reason I'm even adding that is it does meaningfully boost it.
Oh, okay.
90 to 1.
Oh, well. Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of the angle. I just don't love the players.
Oh yeah. The thing is if DeVito has 240 yards.
It's a lot of yards for him, though.
If he has 240, what's the odds of Hyatt has 86? 10 to 1? 6 to 1?
I mean, I don't know how to price that one. That seems pretty tough. So, because again, it's I don't know how much Hyatt's actually going to be utilized and how much they're actually going to try to throw it to him down the field with this guy.
I mean, like Darnell said, he was top 5 in air yards last week.
Yeah, last week. But I think didn't they mostly come when Daniel Jones was in?
No, DeVito started last week.
Oh, did he? Oh shit! I'm thinking of another game I watched. Maybe I was thinking about the game before. Okay, well then in that sense, yeah, maybe. Oh, excuse me.
All right, well that was pretty good.
I dig it.
Again, I think we made like 15 bets.
We like giving money to sports books. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I bet like $120 on Bet Online, and then like another $120 on. I only bet $50 on FanDuel. So
tomorrow you're gonna have to.
That's less than 50. That's like 12 bets. Done and done. We built some things. I think we were more aggressive this week. We have some really juicy ones.
I like Chardonnay the best.
Oh, if Chardonnay goes off.
That's credit to our boy.
Yeah,
Darnell. In the chat. Darnell's gonna get a piece of that action.
Definitely. Darnell gets a piece of the action if Charbonnet goes for 100 yards, no doubt. Alrighty. That is Alphabet's Whiteboard, Week 10 in the books. Thanks, Darnell, for being so active in the chat. And thanks, everyone else, for listening. Hopefully, you built something along the way as well. And if you did, let us know. Join the Discord. A lot of infighting. It's fun.
A lot of shit talk.
A lot of shit talk. Let's go Charbonnet. Mass closing bell. See you next week.